Say goodbye to Joe, your daddy's coming home. We won, you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so say goodbye to Joe, your daddy's coming home. We won, you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave. Say goodbye to Joe, your daddy's coming. It's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad. Now your daddy's home. We won, you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag.
They try to cancel me and say that I'm a racist. Got a mean hook, they can't get me with that jab. Trying to take away my right to go and save this. Well, listen up, cause this run is going bad. With the facts. Why they trying to turn Becky into Dan? You get screw Eminem, I'm Roseanne.
We won, you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo.
All right. That means we got a 1. We got a 2. We got a all right. And welcome back to the TrutherCast, where we're going to start off having things broken a little bit sooner than later. But this week, I think I got the like video, the video window screen fixed, but so welcome back to the TrutherCast, home of the TrutherCast. We are here to take your truth order, and hopefully we've got microphones working, video feeds going, and, things can be like, seen and heard. So make sure to drop a hello out there in the live chat. Hey, we got Steezy. Thanks for showing up. Viva la USA. That's what's up, man. You from the USA, or you like chiming in from out there, man? Welcome. But if you're not familiar with the show, we are attempting to not be just two more dudes, complaining on the old internet. However, we have got some sort of a shtick, and our shtick here is to help you build a better news feed, folks. So make sure to go over to TrutherCast.com. You go over to the resources section, you drop down, and you can go to the alt news creators list. There, I've got a whole list of people that I think you might want to follow, because that way you can build a better news feed. I love talking to all sorts of random people about this stuff, and every time I tell them all sorts of informational tidbits about alt news and the evil deep state that's trying to come and tear down the whole world around us and steal the money out of our pockets, they say, how do you know that stuff? And I finally came up with an answer, folks, and that's because I built a better news feed. So make sure, if you're not subscribed yet here, make a Rumble account. It's really easy. When you sign up, just hit the Google account button, and you don't even got to make a new email password. Make a Rumble account and hit follow here, folks, because then you'll get notified next time we're going live Monday nights, 7 o'clock-ish, I say, but usually 7:38. And then maybe make an X account, But if you got a Facebook, you can follow us there. But over at TrutherCast.com, you can find those socials, and you can, hook up with us. You can join our locals community, which is the best way. It's the best, Dan. People tell me it's the best way to follow people. It's like TrutherCast, because it's a more private community that's not censored by the big deep state technology companies like YouTube, who tried to cancel our first live show on YouTube. But you go to locals.mastash.com. That's 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word. The link is in the description box thingy down below. You go there, Dan, and you can follow us here at TrutherCast and see all the postings from last week throughout the week in live real time.
Good technology, not censored technology. What we like here, I mean, I guess there's one thing we like, you could say censored, and that's migrants.
Amen.
Oh.
Illegal ones.
And
We love immigrants.
That's the censoring.
We love immigrants, man. Come on over here. Hey, man, make a better America with us.
Yeah, that's what we are.
But
We are a
just do it
land
the
of
legal way.
we are a land of immigrants.
Yeah, that's a melting pot, they say, right?
Yeah.
But apparently Daddy Trump likes TikTok because he saved TikTok so far currently.
Well, I mean, are we gonna get into that later? Because
We're going to get more into it.
Yeah, everybody was crying and saying he's a manipulator, really. Like, oh, he was about banning TikTok back in the day, and now look, he brought it back. Blah blah blah. He's
xenophobe.
He's a flip flopper. No, he's a 15 moves ahead, further than you could ever contemplate. This was a power move, and guess what? We got money and security now, which is how it's supposed to be.
And
Just like with our workers, we want to keep the money to our legal workers.
And speaking of money, he's a deal maker because he said, hey, why don't you just sell 50% of it to the United States government? Now, that kind of makes me funny business because then we have a government social media app, and that could be weird and censored. So I don't know if this is a great idea, folks, okay? Don't forget, I don't like every single damn thing that Donald Trump does, man. I don't think it was good to push the vaccine. I don't know. But, hey, do whatever you want, YouTube. You don't have to, we're not telling you to do nothing. I got thoughts, you got thoughts. But, hey, consult your doctor. We're not medical professionals nor financial advisors, so make sure you buy Trump coin. But don't buy Trump coin because I bought Trump coin. You got to buy Trump coin if you want to buy Trump coin because
this is not
Dan didn't
financial
buy Trump
advice.
coin. Yeah. You can't, you can't don't sue me, bro. Don't ban me, bro.
Also, before it's too late, if you don't have anything in Bitcoin, remember, put at least, a couple coins in there.
What I can legally tell you to do, and you can't censor me though, is to make sure to hit signup.toleratetech.com in the box down below because guess what? Today's show is sponsored by the same sponsor, folks. And that's me, Scott, hopefully to be your new like-minded tech guy. I'll even talk to you in the Donald Trump voice. I'll tell you, hey, make sure to click on that button there. Look out for that virus there. But if you go to signup.toleratetech.com down below, you'll see more information about how I can help protect your computer. I can help give you peace of mind on the computer. And, maybe we could talk about, current events while I help you out. So if you were looking for a like-minded tech guy to help you feel better with your computer to keep it safer, save you money, time, hassle, and frustration, signup.toleratetech.com down below. If you're in the area, you can come say hello. I love meeting people in real life person. But if you're remote, I can help you, out very far. As long as the computer connects to the internet, I could probably help you out and be a remote tech guy. So make sure to hit that up, signup.toleratetech.com down below. And that's a good way to make sure you help support the show. But Dan really loves to make sure to tell you how to not be a hoe.
Share the show, you non-hoes. I'll let you slide this week. I won't call you hoes.
The first time we got a studio audience, and Dan just changes everything up.
Everything.
Usually Mr. Host says, share the show, host, but man, he was feeling different vibes today.
Yeah, Mr. T just decided to relax a notch down. Only a notch, though.
We got Wilkinson.
Because tomorrow you're going to be host. If you don't share the show.
Speaking of not hosts, we got Wilkinson in the chat saying thanks to Barron Trump. Barron Trump got me to make Trump coin. I don't know what it is about that kid. He's got great ideas.
He's a large kid. Oh, wait, no, Barron, the small guy.
Barron, no, the big one. Barron, he's 6'6", man. He's a big guy, tall guy.
Okay.
Barron Trump.
That's right. I'm stuck in the years of thinking he's a... Man, that kid really is a Douglas fir. He just grew into himself.
You're stuck in I like my suitcase.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the book where Barron is.
I like my suitcase.
Hey, man.
That was a viral hit, bro, and he didn't even try. Wait until he starts trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying's the first part, succeeding's the next, and then it's let's get ready to rumble, and it takes off.
So, if you're a regular at the show, now that we've done our intro antics,
yeah,
I would just like to personally thank you for showing up again. And thank you for making sure to share this out to at least one friend or family member so that maybe we could double our viewership next week. Who knows? Maybe tonight. Maybe we could get, 20 people here. But the 10 of you that keep showing up, God bless you. Thank you very much. And if you're a truck driver, thank you for your duty and keep driving safe, good sir. Amen.
Yep, somebody's got to get those goods across the United States. Trains can't go everywhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not a liberal, so I know the milk doesn't come from the store.
And don't get an electric truck. Main thing. And
it's real cold right now, bro. I bet you them electric cars are scroodled.
I mean,
Oh my God.
they ain't gonna go far because they're gonna have the heat turned all the way up to realize that heat doesn't just not drain your battery faster.
Hopefully our neighbor's not watching tonight. I don't think they do, but we couldn't help. Me and the wifey, man, were just talking ish, bro. So somebody was visiting, I think, and they had a tezzy out front, right? Well, it got real cold, and we come home one day, and this dude's got a whole space blanket on it. And I said, "Oh, I mean, that's a good idea, but he looks like a dork. Like the guy got a space blanket on his Tesla right now."
Intuitive until the wind goes.
Oh no, it had like ties and a little door for the battery charger that he's running with an extension cable to the wall, which is probably charging it like trickle charge.
I mean, I'm not like up Tesla's butt, so I don't know. Maybe that's like an accessory they sell.
Oh, I guarantee, bro. I mean, I would have got the flamethrower though, and just heated that bitch up.
Right, yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
That'd be a much funner and cooler way
You gotta
to
get
heat,
the Elon
heat
Musk
your car up.
flamethrower. You heat it up, bang bang, you're good. Hey, Mr. Niltamir is here today too.
People
man.
put flames on their cars back in the day to be cool. Well, you could step it up one notch and actually just
put
flamethrower your car.
Well, so that's
give
what
it some
autistic people
give
do.
it some scorch
I thought
marks.
you said put flames on the car. Oh God. Hey, Mr. Niltamir, happy Liberation Day as well, good sir. Thanks for showing up here, man. I hope you're having a great day. And then let's get into it.
Yeah, we probably got a good little bit to cover.
Yeah, we got a good little bit.
It's just mostly going to be a whole lot of talking about. Hopefully, we can wipe the makeup off, take the nose, but whatever you call the clown nose.
Yeah, we got to declown things. They already declowned the Oval Office. Melania got in there. They did a whole remodel in like 2 days.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she definitely has taste for how the White House should be decorated.
It does look very classy and also modern.
Yeah.
It's a good mix.
Yeah, kind of not like a child's daycare.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a child's daycare.
Child's daycare pedophiles, maybe, possibly, allegedly.
You know, the diary says that things are weird, you know, like.
Yeah. The alleged diary to some that doesn't exist.
I mean, it's not alleged when the, FBI breaks down your door, steals your phone, and then leaves the diary.
Yeah, but to those people uninformed and unaware to have realization, and that's why you keep coming back. Because awareness brings realization.
Live viewers,
and
am I too quiet and is Dan good in volume like last week? I forgot to boost the volume a little bit, so I'm not sure if everything's coming in swell.
Swell. I like that word.
Unique New York. Unique New York. I think we're coming in okay. Now am I too loud? I don't know. As long as I sit back when I yell, everything will be good. We figured this out before the show. This side is for the yellers. Me and Daddy Trump over here. So
Yep. And we're the more nonchalants over here until I get
the nonchalance. Should we start with today's news instead of going all the way back a week, or should we go back for the week? What do you think? Let me see a vote in the live chat, folks. What do you think? Start with inauguration stuff?
Yeah, I'm a vote for the inauguration. You tuning in on inauguration day. That's what it's about.
I know it's tricky though. Or do you leave the cliffhanger where you got to watch the whole show to catch up to today? So it's a producer kind of thing. But we don't have a producer, so we're all good.
Yeah. Either way, all of our info's fire. So
yeah. So you're gonna stay the whole way anyway, right? Mr. Niltamir says, I like how the left didn't clap or stand when DJT was laying the law down. I hear you, man.
Well, how can you clap when your brain is bustling and wondering if you about to get some cuffs on you before you leave the...
Did you hear about the protesters outside of the inauguration? They had a full guillotine.
Yeah.
That seems like an insurrection, if you ask me.
I would say that would be, quote unquote, what they said Trump did, inciting violence.
It's definitely a bit on the edge there.
I mean, let's weigh it out here. Let's go peacefully and patriotically protest at wherever it was at the Capitol.
Yeah.
Hey, we hate this guy. Death to this guy. We tried shooting him twice. Only the first time they got bullets off. But yeah, we also think he should be hung. Wow.
No, not hung.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
It's like a blade.
Yeah,
It's like beheaded.
Yeah, I got those two a little mixed up there.
But I'm waiting for the Babylon Bee to come out with the bad take joke.
The gallows. That's what I was saying. Guillotine gallows.
Yeah.
I had the G.
I'm waiting for the Babylon Bee to come out with the bad take joke where it's like the left can't even insurrect.
Womp, womp, womp.
So Trump said he is going to give you a report on the drones about 1 day into the administration because he thinks it's ridiculous that they're not telling you what it was all about.
Quick backside note: you need a smidge of testosterone to perform an insurrection, so that's why we have no worries that they're going to do anything.
I know, right?
Because the testosterone in that
bad
party is null and void.
Mr. Trump
Has
said
You got a whole lot of frogs and water.
turning the frogs gay.
It is already done. Turned them gay now.
So yeah, man, we've had a million estimations of what the drones are, and I believe many of us cannot wait to find out what the Trump man says the drones are. And I guess we were all just going to believe him, whatever he says, huh?
An easy one that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt
a different one, I feel like. But I'm down to find out what those drones are all about. And then I don't have a list of the EOs yet. I know they blocked El Paso, Texas immediately. They have like I got a picture of that one down here somewhere. Where's El Paso?
The EOS.
Did I say Texas? What?
What would be the EOS?
Oh yeah, they shut down the CBP One app. So the app that figure this out. This is like, difficult. So this was a legal app for a immigrant that wants to come to America that's now criminally entered by crossing the border to fill out an app form on the app, and then they charge them and release them to go freely in America. So it's like legal, illegal. Shut down immediately as soon as he became president officially.
Well, I mean, so it should be, because there's no app for me if I was like caught assaulting somebody or murdering somebody, and then I just like hop on my app real quick and say,
well, that's a little
hey,
egregious.
hey.
What about like theft or something, like...
That's why I said a kind of small one and kind of a big one.
What would be an equivalent, right? Like trespassing into something? I don't know.
I mean,
But
either
doing
way,
something criminal, you don't just like sign up for an app and then they go, yeah, run along now.
yeah.
I don't care if you come back to court, run along.
Or if they do, I guess I don't know. Probably because I'm not a criminal.
Why would Biden pardon Michael Byrd for murdering Ashley Babbitt, bro? That's a big one we like to point out here. Is the only person that died, or one of the only two people that died on January 6th was Ashley Babbitt, who was, unarmed and didn't break any windows.
I mean,
and then the police officer that killed her is now completely pardoned by Joe Biden, huh?
Maybe Michael Byrd was so, in this left side of thinking and thought she was definitely a man and just figured that he was in danger. I mean, shit, I'd be more scared if I seen Ronda Rousey coming through the window. Then I'd be scared.
But you're not gonna shoot her.
Yeah,
Good
either way,
God.
when you have 4 at least guards right there, why do you got to shoot when you have a baton, you have a taser, you have all these other measures? You should be trained in hand-to-hand combat, and you just judo throw her right to the floor. Like that. They do that in public to regular citizens that are barely doing anything all the time. So why can't they,
in his defense,
abuse
it was
people like that right
big
there?
Gaggle at that time. It was people coming in through a broken window kind of
It
thing.
was her.
And
It was her.
like there was a big group. It wasn't just like one-on-one her. Like there was multiple people around her.
Yeah, remember, she crawled through a broken window that she didn't break.
But it was big enough for like 1.5 people to fit in it. It was a gaggle, but that shouldn't have been full shot, bro. And then what's up with like...
Either way,
where's
you
the
are not very
non-lethal-
good at policing.
Where's the non-lethal
Yeah, you get
bullets
promoted to captain of the force
and
when
blah,
you
blah,
do that.
blah, right? Like, they should have been hitting people with rubber bullets. Like,
Or tasers.
back up.
Why don't you hit them with tasers?
Well, tasers got wires. Maybe they should have been taser batoning people. Because the wires would have been missing in a riot-y kind of situation. But
Well, I think we should. You want to pull the video back up of her going through the window? Dude, she was barely getting through that.
no, it was slow.
And let's make the argument she's a woman, more than likely smaller than most males. So that's probably why they
she was a
sent her
vet, bro.
through.
She was a military vet.
Yeah. I mean, did you know in Vietnam we had they specially formed groups of soldiers based on their height. We had specific groups of soldiers that were smaller because in Vietnam it was mostly tunnel warfare, and our soldiers or Americans at average are 6 foot. Vietnamese on average were 5'3". As we know, all Asian type people are a smaller person. And so it's hard for a 6 foot guy to go crawling in holes like them. So what they did is we took all of our soldiers that were small and made them the go in the holes people because obviously they were better suited for it.
Yeah, that's a strategy, right?
Just because she was in the military doesn't mean she was big. There's a lot of full fighting forces.
Here's the video.
Oh, look, all those people on the outside of the glass, and all those people in the staircase with those people with those super duper scary AR-15s.
She didn't even get through the window.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah, I remember this video just
different
like that.
version
She
of
wasn't
this.
even through it. He was like, "Oh God, she's gonna come through the window." Pa pa pa.
That's sad, dude.
Guess what?
That's
If
sad.
that was his house, how the law works, if that was his house and they got in the window and he shot her and she came out of the house,
I
guess
know, right?
guess what
He'd
happens?
be going to jail, bro.
Yeah, he goes to jail. But why not there?
There's a mob behind her or something. There's bigger than like, oh, somebody just breaking into your house. But
Except did you see all
sad,
the
bro.
agents with full gear, and probably they have the fun mode on those AR-15,
oh no, they didn't have any guards
on
there,
those
bro.
M4s.
All of that was like, oh no, we don't need it.
Yeah, that was all
Oh, no, we
smoke
don't
and
need it.
mirrors.
Don't need it.
Well, they didn't have National Guard there, but they had all the
Oh, man.
Capitol Police.
That's sad. R.I.P. Ashley Babbitt.
Yeah,
God bless.
another week that we got to have remembrance for Ashley Babbitt because
And
that was
I'm told that Biden
innocent life
full pardon
taken.
the whole J6 committee, so we might not be able to get justice for the murdering of Ashley Babbitt. And then the Renee, I can't remember her last name. She was the other person that died on January 6th. And both of these people were on the Trump side, upset about, hey, I would like an investigation into the election. But we might not be able to get justice because they were all pardoned.
Yep, and that's kind of very un-American, since the whole point of America was having
What's that word? Justice?
yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
or well, how about this? Okay, so y'all lefties are about equality, correct? Yes, it's all about equality on your side. So where's that equality? Oh yeah. Oh, again, if it only helps you, you guys are so hypocritical.
They
It's
tell me that it's
disgusting.
called rules for thee, not for me. That's what they call it,
Yep.
folks.
And that's what they got to
That's what
say
call
because
it.
they don't know actual legal words, obviously, since they're doing dumb foolery like this.
Mr. Niltamir brings up a good one I wanted to go over. There wasn't much to post about, but you've heard of the IRS, right? And you remember what the I stands for? Internal, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Trump, I don't know if he's going to convert or create an additional department. I believe he wants to probably create an additional and then
Well,
slowly make the IRS disappear, but it's going to be called the ERS. Trump thinks that instead of worrying about robbing everybody from America, that we should have an external revenue service where we make sure to get all of our payments from external
Oh, yeah.
avenues of income.
Yeah. You know, take
That
the
sounds good to me.
take
Less
take the
tax
money
than me
from
stealing my money. Like,
take
yeah,
the
look at
money
that,
from the
like,
people that owe us and aren't breaking their backs to pay the debt
Right?
as we are little debt slaves.
right? I mean, the average
Yeah.
American, they say 50% you pay in taxes if you don't have a corporation. So an
Yeah,
external revenue
average.
service does sound pretty tasty to me, man. That sounds great.
I mean, they come up with 3 new agencies a year, right? So I mean, he's got to knock one off. There's one.
Mr. Niltamir wants to know how Alex Jones got younger. What it is it's actually X42. You can get it at alexjones.com. You can go to InfoWarsStore.com. X42. It's the best iodine I've ever got, folks.
I believe isn't he doing First Form too?
So I don't know if he got messed up with or like connected with force form or anything, but
First form.
I don't know if you saw. I know Neil Tamir's pretty into it, but he's lost like 50 pounds or something like that. He went hard on the workout program, and yeah, that's how he got younger. He dropped all that weight.
Oh, what you're saying is
So,
he
like, hell
worked.
yeah,
He
looking
worked a
healthy.
little hard at it. You can't just stab yourself with Ozempic and lose weight. I mean, you can, but it's kind of has some side effects like turbo cancer. So,
Yeah?
allegedly, can't
And
sue me, Ozempic.
if you're gonna stab yourself with anything, it probably should be Trump coin, bro.
That or truther serum.
Truther serum, I like it.
We're in development, allegedly, right now, of a truther serum coming right from the TrutherCast, where you
We are
can't
not-
help but hearing only the truth.
We're gonna need a new disclaimer. We're not financial advisors. We're not medical professionals, and nor are we licensed nutritionists.
We're just the people bringing awareness. That's all it is. Yeah, Trump coin. I seen that's been making some moves.
Ooh, Trump coin down. So that $75 on the high. And now that Donald Trump is inaugurated here, we're dropping down. We're dropping down. That's okay. I'm still up. I snagged a couple at $25. So when it goes below $25, I will probably keep on holding.
Hodl.
I never buy like crappy meme coins, bro. Right? They're like a Ponzi scheme, like like penny stock that you're gonna get screwed on.
Kind of like Tua coin or Hawk coin or whatever it was.
Like the Hawk Tua. That's when everyone's like, "What's the difference between Hawk Tua and like Trump coin? Trump's a terrible person. I can't believe he's doing this." I just think it would be very bad press for Trump to like have a Ponzi scheme and like pull the rug out on him. But
I mean,
all of his critics are going to be like, well, he's a terrible man who's a criminal anyway, so of course he'd do this. He's going to Ponzi scheme everyone and steal their money. And watch this thing turn into like $1,000 coin, bro, and it like does something legitimate.
I mean, people just need to realize how business works too, because if you think about it, the actual big businesses, they basically taken all your money. You keep paying in, and their company grows, and they make money, but you just keep paying.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now, it's got a $28 billion volume, $6.5 billion market cap. So there is. That doesn't mean that $6.5 billion is in it, right?
I mean, we're not financial advisors, no.
That doesn't mean that 6.8 was put into it. That means how many coins are out in the market for what the price value is now. That's how much it is. So all of the coins times the dollar value, I believe. Market cap, right?
You're gonna know more than me on that one. I just read a chart and buy low.
This is how we do it on TrutherCast,
Hodl.
folks. If you don't know
That's pretty much all I
something,
do.
you look it up because you should really know what that is. I don't know why I wanted Andrew Tate. You should know what that is, right? Short for market capitalization. Well, no shit, bro. No, it's not for market capitalization. Total dollar market value of the company's outstanding shares of stock. Yeah. So current price times how many shares are out there. So interesting, folks. Very interesting. But, not financial advisors. Consult your medical professional for stock tips and your financial advisor for vaccination tips.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. I bet
Daddy
they'd have
Trump,
some interesting things to say, vice versa, on that. Yeah.
Daddy Trump brought back TikTok. If you ain't heard that one, you might live under a rock. So somehow, man, he made a deal, and he must have called up the providers, the American providers of servers or something, and said, "Hey, I'm not gonna take you guys down if you let TikTok live. I'm gonna try and work a deal with them." But this brings us to the questionable part. A questionable story idea of the show. I want to know what y'all think in the live chat. Drop it in a comment if you're watching the replay. But if Daddy Trump does work a deal to get 50% of TikTok, doesn't that make it like censorship, government, social media, and that's not good? I'm like really skeptical of that one, bro. Because then the United States government can censor whatever the hell they want. because they own like 50% of the damn thing. So it's like
And it's the actual which government entity would be owning it? I guess would be the thing in
the
question.
United States government. Yeah, that's a great question. Like,
Yeah,
who owns that?
because like you can't. I don't feel like we can just say the United States government owns it. Like we have the United States military,
Right,
and like that's
right.
just the U.S.
That's a
military.
good question. What
So
entity? Or is it just the United States in all capitals? Niltamir, explain it to
because
us.
I heard
United States, the corporation.
yeah I
Like-
heard what's his face from Shark Tank that always wears the black suit.
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about last
Yeah,
week. Him and an
because-
investor were going to try and buy it.
Yeah. If
But
any,
But he even said he started the deal with Biden and he was going to have to finish it with Trump. So it's not even like he's 100% out yet, I don't think.
right, yeah. Not something I've looked into that much
You're
this
right,
week.
right.
Either because one, I don't use TikTok that much. But everybody has been complaining about it only in ways to make Trump look bad. Where when you really think about it and understand what TikTok was as a possible national security risk, when it first came out and everybody was spilling the beans and everybody's like, I don't care because we're TikToking. The Chinese was using it to mine all of our data, which could be anything from very dangerous because depending on a lot of people don't know if you have TikTok on your phone, as long as you have the app on there, you have, because you got to sign up, right, to make an account. Once you signed up, probably even before that somehow that they did it, they have access to everything in your phone. Everything. And did you hear about what was it where they got caught that they were mapping out the Chinese home vacuum cleaners.
They're in bed
The
with Roomba.
the Chinese Roombas were mapping out all of our houses,
Yeah,
making
yeah.
blueprints of every single house that it was in,
Yeah, we brought that up. on
which
other
is
shows, yeah.
if you know about military tactics, slightly disturbing. And so if you have they're like, well, we can't get Roombas or our Roombas, whatever their version of it is, in every house.
King Jongs.
But guess who's going to have our app? Like everybody. And then if you use the phone's technology, guess what? They can do the same thing.
I know, right? That's
So
where
they
everyone always
are
sketch about DJIs, bro, because those are Chinese companies. So like the drones are like mapping out everything, and
yeah.
they can take all the pictures and videos of like anything that anyone's ever taken
Yeah.
a drone of, dude.
So
DJ
that's real national security risk.
So before the inauguration, DJI actually removed the geofencing restrictions for airports and government buildings. And so that's one of the reasons why they also did the inauguration indoors, I guess, is because like DJI was like, all of a sudden they were like, we're going to let the drone operators have freedom.
That
Well,
doesn't
that makes
sound good.
Any Tom, Dick, or Harry could have flown a drone over the inauguration and then try to maybe drop a bomb.
Well, did you
something
you
kooky.
see the his driving brigade, whatever if that is, it probably has a more official name. But the
Yeah,
the
like
group
the
of cars
Secret Service
that
detail.
the group of cars that drives Trump around before he got into Air Force One to fly out for the inauguration, they all have anti-drone tech on them.
Right. that's
They
why
they
have
now
that,
all have
yeah.
anti-drone tech.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're paying attention to the thing that's happened across seas for a while, the whole Ukraine-Russia thing, that some people say is just totally not real. It's all cinematics. But yet those people believe or don't believe in the Hollywood moon landing skit. So y'all are a little, hypocritical on that
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, drones can do about anything nowadays. They can carry guns, they can carry bombs, they can carry flamethrowers. That's not something you want to just possibly have flying around then near a presidential election. So it's good. Unfortunate we had indoors, but Trump was saying during his inauguration speech how it looks so beautiful outside. I was like, why don't we have it outside? The sun looks beautiful. It's shining. It's great. And then I was outside and, ooh, was it cold? It's a nice 72 degrees in here. I think the people much appreciate this. We actually might make it an official thing to have it endorsed from now on because, as people know from around here, it kind of gets cold at this time of year, and the inauguration date doesn't change. And
People tell me that when it's 0 degrees out, humans kind of freeze up. I don't know. That's what people tell me.
Yeah, which could get us all back into the whole global warming so bad again. But we're not gonna go down that path because we'll be on that path for a good half hour.
You can check out other episodes where we have gone down that path. So make sure to subscribe, hit that follow button on the Rumble. I think it's subscribe if you're on the YouTube. Follow the @MassDash if you're on the TikTok. And then next time you'll get notified when we're going live. And then maybe you can jump in the live chat and ask us about our thoughts, opinions, and data and research on climate change.
Yeah, or put in some points of some critical news that we might have missed through the week.
Or give us the tips and ideas and facts that we haven't seen. But speaking of Ukraine, I had something from last week that I thought I'd pull up. This is one of those where I feel like, like many things, first to be considered fringe, alt news, conspiracy theories even, right? The mainstream media, when are they going to accept the reality that Russia has completely won the Ukraine war? And they're going to stop lying to us, to just keep stealing more of our tax dollars, to just blow it on funding for trying to, fight Russia for what? Because as, good friend of the show, Tim Pool here, make sure to follow him on YouTube or Rumble. They took what they wanted, bro. That was the mission. And so this is a great show they're doing. They bring in these two liberal guys that are super libtard washed, right? And their argument was, no, that's not, he didn't win yet. He wanted, look, Ukraine is still on the map. And so they were trying to insinuate the conspiracy theory on their side that Putin's actual goal of this war is to take all of Ukraine. And so he hasn't won yet. But Tim's like, oh, conspiracy theories aside.
Either way.
They took the what is it, the Crimea or the Donbass region or whatever, where they needed to get to the Gulf to have the port.
And
so mission over. They took what they needed. They blocked that.
There's so much back and forth on that. I only believe from those who are either currently or have been over there recently. So if Justin, you're watching tonight, chime into the chat. Let us know what's going on. But I guarantee he will say it's definitely not over. One thing, the fighting's not over. That's for sure. Russia is still trying to advance. That is the thing. They might have gained some territory, but they're still pushing.
Well, that's like saying, oh, the bear's still trying to eat me. Well, why did you poke the bear in the eye?
Oh,
why did you keep spreading NATO when we
go
said
back
we
to
weren't
World War
spread
II?
NATO?
It was kind of the same thing with World War II.
Right, but we said we weren't going to expand NATO, and then here we have Ukraine encroaching on territory, and then we say, hey, we're going to help them out. We're NATO. Oh, by the way, why don't we just make you part of NATO? By the way, now NATO's on your border like we said we weren't going to do. So poke them in the eye, and then what do you expect?
Well,
then we threw bombs at them. What do you expect?
Well, how else would Lockheed Martin make money?
How are you going to fuel a military-industrial complex? But this was a good clip if you're into this stuff, guys. Go to the locals.massdash.com. It's in the link description down below. But if you type it in, 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word, locals.massdash.com.
But the war is technically not going to be over until Ukraine gains its territory back.
I said they won the war.
Oh.
Russia has won the point of their war. They wanted to have that Gulf, that port. So what he was pointing out was they've completed the mission.
They have I wouldn't say won the war because that means it's done. He has accomplished some things of what he wanted to.
Sure.
Of advancing into.
You could argue that's semantics. Fair enough.
Yeah.
They've beat their original point or whatever, right?
I want to hold up for the guys in the room. Oh, you had to change it. Go back. Bam. It's the one thing I noticed in this frame.
Boobies.
Yep.
Now,
best skateboard deck. A penguin with
before you think it's distasteful, folks. It's the booby bird.
Yeah. It's the blue-foot booby.
It's the blue-footed booby. Peace out to our in-studio audience. Thank you for joining us. Y'all have a great night. I don't know where it is, but they had a very good point that I wanted to bring up because of our previous discussions with you and Mr. Justin. It's also at this point, it's like they could be fighting with all sorts of other thingies. Why are they still just murdering a bunch of Ukrainians and Russians? And then, one might say, well, there's even more people there than Ukrainians and Russians. And
There's
so
a
we're
whole
still
lot
just
more.
smashing grunts at the floor for what? And it's like,
to
dude,
to
like,
try to get the territory back.
that's not how it's going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
And
Because even if you
that's-
wasted a whole bunch of grunts, they go bigger nukes, bigger
and that's
bombs.
why I think personally it's just basically the kindling to World War III, especially because
Which then why would you continue to fuel that and go into it, bro? It should be like, don't instigate that problem. Now you're just putting more
Yeah.
kindling on that fire.
well, let's not forget what has been the whole
Best
goal.
defense is an offense. I feel
What's been
that.
the whole goal of the left side and that side of government, not just lefties, but that side of government that wants
Military-industrial complex.
ultimate power, rule over the world, the one world government. What's the only thing in their way? Strong-willed, willing to go to war fighting males. And if they keep getting them to go over there to then eventually not be here on the planet anymore, well, then the people that they don't want as opposition are slowly diminishing. And then they have less opposition going forward.
Right.
They don't have any strong
Man, that's where I wish I had that
strong-willed
part.
males to stand up. I mean, females too.
But they don't
it's
have
gonna
any,
be
bro.
mostly-
They've wiped all of them out. They've wiped all of the Ukrainians out where they're pulling fucking like handicapped
Well-
kids off the street.
Well, not all of them. There's still some good
Like a
ones, but
large,
but
huge
yeah,
amount
they have definitely taken
where-
a big hit. But hey, the Russians, I mean, population-wise percentage, I can't say on that who's more, but I would say they have lost more.
What? Are you
More
crazy?
more Russians
There's
have
like
been lost,
100x more Russians than there are Ukrainians.
like in the country. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm
so
saying.
that statistically, they
saying-
lost far smaller of a percent of their military-ready men.
Russia doesn't advertise how many people they've lost. They
Well,
won't do that
duh.
because they're communists.
But I'm saying statistically, they're winning, and they're way more people, so they've probably lost a far smaller percent of Russian
Of
military to Ukrainian.
of population.
No, I'm saying just like the military people,
No.
the men ready to go to military, like you were saying.
I'm just saying overall body.
Well, no, you were saying
More,
you were saying military
lot more
aged
Russian.
and people.
I mean that's one part of it, but I'm saying the soldiers. Let's just say then, because you gotta group them into, because soldiers are obviously the main ones dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be the rest of the population. But I'm saying if you count that just in
Unless
total,
Ukraine was
total,
just killing civilians.
so if you take that into consideration of their total population,
Right.
and make a percentage then of how
It's
many
gonna be
percent.
far smaller than Ukraine's, just because of how big that place is.
What? Maybe. No, you don't understand how many more Russians have died compared to Ukrainians. It's
Yeah,
at
that's-
least.
I
It's at
definitely
least.
don't.
At least 5 times.
But who says that? So whose word do we believe? Blah blah blah.
The-
It's
the-
very complicated.
The soldiers that are out there decimating the Russians, and
Yeah,
now
but they can't count all
and-
of that. They don't
and
have
now-
that intel.
don't forget about all the North Koreans.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And guess what? They have been dying in droves.
But
you know,
don't forget
do you know?
the Americans.
Do you know why?
Don't forget how many Americans have died over there now.
Again, though, far less than the number of Russians. Far less. No,
But
you
there's
don't
little to
understand.
no Americans there, so that's a bad comparison.
You
I
don't.
was saying
I'm just
Ukrainians
saying.
to
No,
Russians.
no. Total soldiers on the front line. Then let's just do
But
just
they're
soldiers
winning.
because they have that many more people. But you know how
So then, how is it possible that more died?
Scott.
How is it possible
don't-
that more died? if
You
they're
you don't.
winning?
You just don't understand. You shouldn't go into this because
No, I
you
should.
do
How would I
not.
understand if I didn't go into it? That's
Okay.
not what we do here at TrutherCast.
Okay, so you know how the Brits.
How are they winning if they
Hey,
lost more people?
Listen to me. You know how the Brits did warfare when they were red jackets, when we were battling for America, correct?
Mm,
Are
not
you
really.
aware? Okay. So why we won the war is because Brits did old style warfare. We were adopting guerrilla warfare.
Sure, guerrilla warfare, blah blah blah, Vietnam, da da da.
So they send lines of soldiers It's a little different nowadays because they don't have to stand in line and load their muskets and whatnot. But it's the same thing. Ukrainians, they are smart. They do guerrilla warfare. They do trench. They have protection. They are defending and sometimes trying to take territory. So you are shooting out of a hole, per se, or cover. There's barely any cover. They've bombed the landscape so much. There's barely any trees left. It's all flat as crap. And so how do you get in there? They only have so many armored vehicles.
Yeah, but what does this have to do with the Ukrainians, the Russians, bro? Because if you say Russians aren't saying how many died, I would just say the Ukraine's lying about how many have died because they want it to be everybody's died. Send us more money.
This is literally how it goes. You'll have maybe 10 guys in a hole to defend a place. All of a sudden, here comes 50 to 100 Russians running across an open field because they have no choice. That's how communism works. They go, you have to go take that thing. Oh, there's nowhere to dodge I'm in the wide open. You have to go take the thing. But that's impossible. I'm probably going to die. You have to go take the thing.
That's how all military works, bro. That ain't communism. They're not communists.
That's
either.
not how the American military works.
What? Yeah, that's how
No.
I've heard it works for sure.
Except we use planes, tanks, all this armored shit to get our guys there. We don't go bare ass, no plates. These guys don't even have plates.
What about Obama also saying you can't shoot until you get shot on, and a bunch of American soldiers have died because of this?
That's a different thing to get into.
But that's how our military functions.
We don't have our military over there.
Exactly. So then how does our military system have anything to do with it?
Because it's a lot of non-Ukrainians over there. They are in the Ukrainian Legion is the fighting force that is defending Ukraine, which is their military. You can't go over and just fight as in with the American military, we have our actual soldiers, and guess what? When we wanted to do that dirty stuff,
what are the
you have
small hats?
private contractors.
Do you know what the small hats are?
The small hats?
How about we focus on the small hats? I don't know if that's a distraction.
I'm not sure what that means.
A good one of what we're talking about.
They have a lot of their forces have been trained actually by American military personnel over there.
All of them.
Not all of them,
It's
but
a lot. A wide majority. Because
that's
apparently
what
they suck.
That's what I said. Is
Sure,
a
sure,
lot.
sure.
Not all of them. It's not 100%, but we could be at 95%.
I'm told they don't know how to do anything, and we go up over there and we go, well, we can't actually click the button on the bomb because then we'd be part of it. So this is how you click the bomb. Here, go ahead and click the bomb.
No, because they have been, when you go over there and fight, if you're anywhere on the front lines, you are involved in the war at all. You have to join the Ukrainian Legion.
Right.
Which means you are part of their military. So any of that American stuff.
Well, what about official Americans that are over there giving them all of our tech stuff? That's what I was more referring to, not
they joined the Ukrainian Legion.
People joining up there or whatever.
No, that's how you do it.
Like official over there by the military.
There is none.
Yeah, there are.
No.
Oh yeah, there are.
No, otherwise we'd already be in World War III.
Oh no, there's
100%. They might be active in our military.
They're just saying that they're not participating.
But on paper, they are not U.S. military anymore. Otherwise, if they were, we'd already be in World War III because that would be.
We said that we have 62 people over there for the United States military. Like the Biden administration said this.
First, don't take any word of Biden's on what's going over there.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like, who the F word do we?
Because if Americans were over there doing that, you're going to get in big, big, big trouble. Russia could then declare war on U.S. if he for sure could prove that U.S. military, active military, enlisted in the military and not part of a Ukrainian Legion did stuff. Then that would be an act of war of the U.S. against Russia.
Well, that's where it's, oh, what do you think, man? You're provoking the dude, blah, blah, blah.
So But back to how there's a lot more Russians dead than Ukrainians
Mm-hmm.
because they do it's communist style warfare now at this point. They send 100 guys across an open field, go, hey, go get that bunker over there. And so guess what? Just like World War II, you remember how many of our soldiers died on the beaches, Normandy? Because it's almost we ended up getting through, but we had to sacrifice a whole lot of our soldiers.
Yeah, sure.
So many people died literally just trying to take that beach.
Right.
Same thing. They sacrificed a lot, hundreds
less died because
of
then we won.
thousands of bodies.
But less died because then we won.
Less died of who? The Russians?
Ours.
Our overall, I guess I don't know these stats, but I would
That's how
say
winning works. Less people
more-
died, then you win.
Not always.
I can't think of one scenario where more people die and then you win.
No. When you send 100 guys across an open field against people that are well covered in a trench with machine guns, guess what happens? More than likely, all those 100 people gone. Those guys still alive.
So
and
then-
they do that every day,
So-
over and over and over
With
and
those
over.
tactics,
It is
how
a
are they-
meat grinder. That's why they call it the meat grinder.
So with those tactics, how are they doing exactly what they wanted and taking over all of that land that they wanted in the first place?
Because they just have more people than Ukraine,
That's what I'm saying. So less of them have died.
not soldier wise. This is why I was trying to separatize it before. But you're trying to bring it back to population.
No, I'm
less
not.
of the
No, I'm
less
saying
of the
less
country's
soldiers
population.
Die. That's how they're doing this. That's how they're winning.
No.
Interesting.
Wait, are you saying less Ukrainians or Russians?
No, less Russians die. That's why they're
No,
winning.
absolutely not.
Interesting. I was gonna see if maybe I could catch something smart that they were saying and see what you thought. 'Cause I wanted you to watch this one ahead of time, and I can't remember if I freaking sent it to you to say like. I think I
Maybe
asked you to watch
possibly,
it.
yeah. If I end up opening something that gets sent to my phone, it's always.
I thought I was like, hey, watch this for the show.
Doesn't see it that way. It can be the perspective of the narrative in the United States that the U.S. is not involved. Russia does not see it that way. The U.S. provided missiles like ATACMS, provided the training and the equipment, and then asked the guy standing next to them, special forces in Ukraine, press that button to blow up the Russian
agree.
flagship.
I agree.
Russia doesn't see that as Ukrainian attacking.
I don't.
Well, they do because they're not attacking. They're not like
Russia,
Well, wait,
Ru-
I
Russian,
think they're
Russian
attacking
state
us within the
officials
United
and
States.
media have already said we are at war with NATO.
Yeah, I mean, they always believe that. But I agree. They do believe that we're. I agree with all that. I just don't think.
Right. So let's put
That
it
means
simply.
that we're actually going to get into a military conflict with.
in no courtroom would you be able to claim that you were not involved in the murder of a person when you handed the gun to the guy, asked him to do it, and told him to pull the
And
trigger.
we gave them the equipment. Of course, I'm with you.
So that means the U.S. is literally at war with Russia.
And then I disagree that we technically are neither.
Yeah,
We're not legally at
declare
war with
that.
Russia because Congress hasn't
Yeah,
declared.
we
And-
weren't
and we
legally at
don't-
war with Vietnam either. It was a
and-
police action.
well,
There was
and
no
we don't feel
declaration of
threatened
war.
that we're going to have to sacrifice
It gets really
American
complicated.
soldiers to invade Russia, or Russia's going to do that to us. There's not really a threat.
First of all, Luke, I think it's very naive on your part to pretend that there's not American special forces who are in Ukraine right now doing all sorts of sabotage mission, training ops, all sorts of things. Like, it's totally naive to believe that in every other
I didn't even
theater,
claim that.
every other theater that we're involved in, where we're training people in advisory roles.
I think you think you're debating with someone.
We're
else.
always.
That's not what I'm claiming.
Well, you say you make the claim like, no boots on the ground, no boots on the. It's like there's already boots on the ground though. We
No,
already
no, I'm
have. I
saying,
guarantee
like,
we already
we're
have
not
special
gonna-
forces
Special
boots on the ground.
forces
if you don't hear
is
what I'm saying, then
Look, I think
kind of-
foreign wars
Not-
in general,
not-
like
But that's the thing. It's what tag you're putting on you while you're doing it.
Yeah, sure.
They are not
But
currently.
that kind of doesn't
they
matter
are
in
not-
reality, though.
They are not part.
Like you're
of,
still there,
and
and you're
that-
still
and that's-
American trained,
and that's why it's kind of poking the bear. But guess what?
No, that's bullshit, bro.
That-
That's like saying,
that
"Hey,
is-
I'm a Republican now. No, Hillary, we're not gonna just vote for you now, buddy. We
mean-
know who you are."
I mean, you could compare it to like I could have just like let the farm cat die, but I knew unless I intervened, it was probably definitely gonna die.
No, they had a
the-
peace deal, bro. No one was gonna die, and then we came over and said, "Screw the peace deal. Let's go and kill everybody."
They propaganda.
It's not
Propaganda
propaganda. It
peace
was
deal.
shown. And then Zelensky also said that there was a peace deal, but then they came up to help us.
Putin is really
Zelensky
good at
said
it.
that.
You're gonna believe Zelensky now, the
Oh,
guy that
Lord
got
almighty.
frauded into presidency?
Well, then how do we believe any of it? That's silly. So I forget
That's
what
why
this guy.
it's really complicated and why we're here to dig to find the actual
know, right?
bottom truth of the matter. Because nowadays there is 5 different truths that people are trying to shove into something or say that is truth.
I know it's a money pit, Niltamir. I hear you, buddy. Will be interesting to see how fast things stop. I agree. He said he's going to end the Ukraine thing before he inaugurated. Too,
Did you
but
see?
he didn't pull
Did
that
you see
one.
Israel had a ceasefire?
Did Daddy Trump work the deal with Hamas in Israel? And during the inauguration speech, he already said that hostages were released,
Yep.
American hostages.
Yep.
That's like a amen, man. God
Wow,
bless.
look at that. He's like doing what he said he was going to do. At least one of them.
Yeah, Mr. Steezy points out, what about my homie over in Syria? But Biden claimed no troops by Israel. I believe it was Kamala
Yeah, it was
that
Kamala.
claimed that. But yeah, I
I mean,
hear
I'm
you,
sure
brother.
Biden said it at some point too.
Right. Like whatever she said.
Yeah. We have no troops anywhere in the world. And then all of a sudden,
Bruh.
that's probably why they wanted to ban TikTok. 'Cause I'm pretty sure it was the soldiers on TikTok. They're
right.
like, well, hey, look at this.
Well, that's
Oh,
a-
where am I then?
That's at least where everybody else uploaded it
And guess what?
popularized it. Yeah.
They are actually current and badged U.S. military in Syria.
Like even worse, you're saying
Like
more egregious.
to where if them fighting Syria could legit say, you have soldiers
Yeah.
on our land
Yeah.
shooting and murdering our people, so that would be an act of war.
Right.
Well, right now it's Russia and Ukraine because they're all branded as Ukraine soldiers. They basically wiped their U.S. like
no,
not citizenship,
no,
but they're
wiping. No.
I'm saying it's like
You
as-
fugazied it. You lied. No, I'm like Ukrainian now, bro. It's like the Spider-Man meme.
But if they're not at you, son, you actually
No, you can't
you
just
are
slap a
di-
different
you're
label on, and then all of a sudden it's like
you don't understand how the
"Oh, you're not
military works.
American."
You become a different entity. Let's bring it back to.
I don't think you
let's
understand
talk
how
about
reality works. Putin doesn't give a frick about that. Come on.
Oh, now and that's
He's
what
still
I'm
gonna
saying
be
before.
upset.
Well,
He's
exactly
gonna be
what.
like, no, they're
so if you
clearly American guys.
Okay, so you say
I'm
Putin
upset.
doesn't give crap. So yeah, exactly. So you're gonna trust that Putin was gonna
No, he doesn't give a
agree to
crap
the
about a
peace
label.
deal?
Yeah, he
yeah,
made the peace
yeah,
deal.
Yeah. So you think that's possibly real then? After you just said that,
No, I said he doesn't give a
that's
crap
double
about a label.
crossing.
No. I said he didn't give a crap about the label. You slap a label on an American and call him Ukrainian, that doesn't mean anything.
Guess what? Paperwork.
You're still like attacking.
Paperwork. You got to bring it back. What are we here in the U.S.?
What? No. You're poking the bear and saying it's okay for me to poke you because I put a different badge on. That's not the same as like, yo, look, dude, I got a peace deal. Let's keep the Bonras autonomous.
Do you know?
So it's nobody's land.
Do you know Americans have signed up for the Russian military and are fighting against
I
Ukraine?
haven't heard one.
It's
iota
been
of that.
very few, but there has been a few.
Well, I'm sure.
So
There-
then,
there's everybody.
so
There's
then,
any
so then, what do you
situation.
call that?
I don't know. That's called like people like to go to war for no effing reason, but shooting bullets and being scared about almost dying.
But Trump, not Trump. Putin is, guess what? Not work. He doesn't care that he's American.
You know what?
They
it
have
isn't?
now the Russian label.
You know what it isn't? It isn't treason because the United States is not at war with Russia.
Dude,
That's sickening.
it's
not treason.
It's complicated.
That's not treason, my God. I forget this guy's credentials, but he's got some kind of like, he was all in like government and military or some crap. So he's got a few wise guy things in here, like tidbits or something.
Like are a big waste of money. It's not a W for us. It's an L. Let's just be honest here. This whole situation with Russia and aggression, containing it, it's to fund the military-industrial complex. We need to be able to rationalize and justify our armament. So we need to go ahead and have this conflict with Russia when in reality we need to, figure out some type of diplomatic middle ground with them versus having an issue with a nuclear-armed power.
If capable.
I think peace is the way to go. But, we want to sit here and substantiate our military-industrial complex, which is problematic.
Okay, Russia. It's so
It wasn't too like grand or anything, but hey, man, yeah.
It
something something. How do we get
So-
to the peace thing and
so-
like stop all the fighting?
On
Why can't we all just get along?
like we're not. The U.S. is not at war with Russia.
yeah, that's right.
On paper. Could you argue and say we basically are? Yeah, because we're funding it. Some people that have our military experience are over there helping and influencing. But at the same time, I'm part of this free. You could say you're free in the United States.
The most free that like you could be like somewhere in the world other than like like non or like international waters or whatever like.
But guess what? You're signed into the U.S. corporation.
Yeah, something something Social Security da 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 da.
But if somebody came from across seas and they grew up their whole life and then they immigrated over here legally, and then they
MBP app.
and then they sign into being an American citizen, guess what? You're not that person anymore on paper. You are in all the embodiment of yourself on paper. That doesn't matter. You are now debt slave to U.S.
Yeah, but then you still get special pennies and babadoo.
Ever heard the famous saying, "Not the sword that rules the world, the pen and paper."
Yeah, no shoot, man. That's for sure.
The pen and paper.
That's for sure, bro.
There's all but until you dig through the laws, stupid hard. 95%, 98% of people, it's just going to be misunderstood because the paperwork goes so freaking deep.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Because one, maritime law, international law, American law. Let's just throw it in there because we're probably the biggest lawmakers in the world compared to other
Local
places.
county laws, state laws. There's a lot of laws.
Yeah. There's total different laws when it comes to no man's land, international waters. International waters is a whole different thing out there.
Oh, now you're on pirate law, bruh.
I'm saying, like, you could be an American citizen in international waters. All of a sudden, the laws are different.
Oh, yeah. You have no laws.
Oh, it's like signing different papers. All of a sudden, whatever the past is doesn't pertain to you anymore. It's now what
legally.
It's now what you're currently in.
Not in reality. Because if you are an Indian man and you come over here and you get your green card and then you tell me that you're a native-born American, I go, you're an idiot. No, you're not.
Laws
you're
are
an Indian man.
Laws are tricky.
Right. But that's where I was saying he's not going to abide by law thingy because now it's just a thing to fugazi him, blah, blah, blah. Still poking bear or some crap, right?
I mean,
Speaking of poking the bear.
Either way, yeah.
Did you
it is
hear
a
what-
poking the bear situation.
Did you hear what Yellen did to poke the bear, bro? Yellen? Janet Yellen, Fed? Yellen literally waited until 5 p.m. on our last day to drop the bombshell that the U.S. is out of money on Tuesday, a.k.a. tomorrow, the day after Donald Trump is inaugurated. So some people think that she's kind of like the Joker, just going to like drop the bomb and just,
I mean,
leave on that one.
I mean, technically, we are kind of always out of money.
Something like didn't work a deal or like so that's where I was trying to figure out what was this like she obfuscated something and didn't she was supposed to tell people but didn't tell nobody.
Then again gets complicated because
or she on
do we
purpose
have no money?
didn't
Well,
fix it?
did the U.S. Mint just print some more or not? That's the thing about it. Gold, guess what? Gold is money.
Hold on, we'll have money as soon as I make that $15 trillion Bitcoin trust. We'll be balling.
I'm gonna say I messed up with the U.S. Mint. That is currency. So we could technically, depending on what she means by money, because most people when they think of money, they think of the U.S. dollar.
Community notes for the win. She announced this several weeks ago, so I guess she wasn't being sneaky. Okay, if we believe you, community notes. So false alarm.
Community.
I like community notes.
I mean, is community notes just what the majority of people commenting it is?
So I signed
because
up-
then you could get just a bunch of lefties in like a big group and then just go on there and be like, Let's all say that this happened this way.
So that's what started happening during the campaigning with Kamala Harris. We found out that a whole bunch of lefties signed up to be the community noters, and then they were doing shady, incorrect community notes. So no system's perfect, but my argument is, are you signing up on X to be a community noter? This is why we lose, because our side always is like, I ain't got the time for this. I'm going to go work and make money. I got kids and shit. And then so I bring it back to that concept of, if you have kids and a husband, you're not going to be online posting about how great it is and fulfilling it is to be a mommy. But if you're like a, single person with like maybe a beta boyfriend or no boyfriend and no kids, you're going to be typing all day long about how great it is to smoke weed and masturbate all day. And then that's what you get in, pushed around in the social, and then people think that's a good thing and blah, blah, blah. Young kids hear that and think it's like a good idea. So I signed up to be a community noter, even though I was like, I ain't got time for that. And I was like, I am on this system all the time, and I want to believe in it. So.
I didn't even know it was a sign-up thing. You got to be. So then see that.
And you got to get like slight vetted. Like they had a few questions, and it's like, okay, you're on the list. And I was like, okay. So then I also wanted to do it for research. I want to find out, what's this like?
Man, see, that's where it's like, man, how about we just have the community notes as there is no backups. People just post stuff, and then just people comment in their opinion, and then you can go through it.
It still happens what you said, because like some people said that, like, why isn't it more old school forum natural, where just like the highest upvoted thingy shows to the top? But then you get like people just jacking around, and then everybody upvotes the like shit post. And then the shit post is the highest thingy up, or the lie, because then they could pay libtards to go over there and upvote thingy. I mean, so like every version of it could be obfuscated.
You make it too big to Fugazi, just like too big to Rig, too big to Fugazi.
Well, we need to participate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which is just more posting truthful stuff.
So a great example is right there. I just rated it, but it's a little bit of a blind rate. That's why I just said context, right? Yeah. But all the time when I see a bad community note, I'll rate it and be like, yo, this is inaccurate. And then I post a link to like the information that I found contradicting the community note.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a system for saying, hey, the community note is BS.
Which is probably good, but I mean, I feel like if there was just a whole bunch, I mean, you'd have to go through a whole lot of comments, but for the most part, at the end of the day, word of mouth is the key.
So what I
word
think you're
of the
saying,
mouth
Dan,
of spreading truth
is moral of the story.
Follow the TrutherCast.
less. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Damn. No, that's a better one. Yeah. Follow the TrutherCast. Less time scrolling on crappy, like silly thingies, and more time delving into like helping double fact check the community notes or something.
I mean, either way, just more talking about it, I guess.
Yeah, right, dude.
Which people don't, because
live chats in the live chat.
It gets a little bumpy for some people.
Hey, Dan. Sarah says hi. LOL. Mr. Steezy says, "Have y'all seen
Sarah?
Have y'all seen the show with Sean Ryan and Sarah Adams?" Not trying to flip a subject, but it was interesting. What was that one about?
I think my live chat's broken.
Which one's Sarah Adams? Yeah, sometimes you gotta like close the whole damn appy and reopen it. Damn you, Rumble!
If you're listening, Rumble, we need more hard workers over in your department. Keep hiring.
Which one's Sarah Adams? And it was Sean SEA? Wait, Sarah Adams, Sean Ryan.
Oh, the Sean Ryan podcast?
I would imagine, yeah.
Oh. Hey, Sarah. No, I know what Sarah we're talking about.
The entire episode of the Sean Ryan show blew my mind. I am going to watch it the second time, but there is a significance.
I hope you got your fridge fixed.
Oh, the former CIA targeting officer. Yeah. Here, we can check out this little clip here.
Israel still wasn't what we knew. We knew the plotting had happened in Afghanistan, but we thought, okay, Israel is just going to keep calling it the Hamas attacks until they wipe out Hamas, right? That makes sense. You can't fight 3 or 4 different fronts, right, or different terrorist groups at the same time. Well, we're getting closer to coming up on the year mark of it, and Israel still wasn't telling anyone, obviously they knew IRGC was involved because they took out a bunch of them, but they weren't telling anybody about Al Qaeda and the Taliban, and they weren't striking Al Qaeda and the Taliban. But we knew Israel is in a series of attacks, right? And those series of attacks include the US homeland. So we're like, if we don't put out the truth that Al Qaeda did October 7th, then how do we expect the law enforcement and first responders in the US to be prepared if no one told them October 7th was the same people who are going to attack in the US, right? Because if you can look at those tactics, prepare, do different training, it puts you in a more resilient position if an attack happens in your community. So that was the catalyst that made us put out October 7th. So basically what happened is this was a joint kind of Al Qaeda, IRGC thing. And I said, this is a whole bigger thing. And they did all this over Telegram for the most part. So they had an original planning meeting in Kandahar again. And then they had kind of like their second meeting up in Kabul. And then most of the rest of the plotting occurred via Telegram. And then, which is crazy, right? You'd think our governments could collect that in advance. We learned a lot of things during this process. First off, in the first plotting meeting, it was Saif al-Adil. He runs the military commission of the Taliban. He's the one that chose the date. Do you know what's significant about October 7th?
No.
So he first chose October 7th, 2022.
No.
I told you it got pushed a year because of Zawahiri, which is also its own point, right? We struck an Al-Qaeda member and it forced them to push the attack another year. What if we kept striking them in Afghanistan during that time, right? It could have pushed the attacks longer. And this is why I say we need to strike the command and control of the homeland attack, right? But anyway, set aside, October 7th was the day George Bush announced Operation Enduring Freedom, and we basically started carpet bombing Kandahar.
No shit.
So nobody understands the October 7th attacks actually have a connection to Afghanistan to begin with. And the date was chosen to do with Afghanistan. So everybody who's like, why do we care about Israel? Why is that our problem? It's like, that's just the first in a series. It's coming for us. That's like the test run.
Interesting.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched just a couple clips of this and it didn't snag me, man. So thanks, Steezy, for pointing this one out. Definitely go check out this Sean Ryan here if you're into this one, man. This lady definitely sounded very intelligent and informative on this, and it looks like she wrote a Benghazi book. I'm thinking it.
Right? Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah, I noticed that Benghazi book.
Yeah. We know who really doesn't like you talking about Benghazi.
Sneaky snake out there. Did you see she actually attended the inauguration?
Yeah.
Knew.
George W. Bush, baby Bush, him and his wife attended.
Yeah.
And you notice how I'm saying them and their wife.
Yeah.
And then
because
Barack showed up alone.
Well, his wife didn't show up either. You mean his husband didn't show up?
And side note, did you see that that's a possibility because they might be getting divorced?
That is the TMZ news.
Over the finally something getting investigated over the what was he? Just not a caregiver, but like basically their butler per se, was found butt naked,
the
dead.
Cook. That was the cook.
Cook.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was over that?
Well, that was put in the story. Like, allegedly, they're getting a divorce because there was an affair with the cook.
Oh,
and that's why the cook ended up dead.
Hell no. He was going to write a tell-all book, allegedly. He was working on.
Hence, maybe why he ended up face down and not deep water and also not anybody around and stuff. All I want to know is I want to know that guy's vaccination record.
Interesting.
I mean, because then if he'd had all the shots and boosters, then it'd be like, yeah, he was doing physical activity. He had cardiac arrest and died. Quite possible.
But there was a blunt force trauma. He was half naked, and the pond that he died in had an average depth of about 4 feet or 3 feet. And
yeah,
he was clearly shown on his Instagram swimming very vigorously, like he could swim very well.
I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to call it. Neighboring kids were messing with a potato cannon. They launched it. Potato. This dude's just out there swimming. knocks him. I mean, a potato with the weight and whatnot from that probably blunt force trauma him, at least knocked him out. You're face down in the water. Then you end up drowning to death. A couple trash pandas from around the area smelled the potato. They're like, woo, fresh fries. They ended up eating the potato. So then the potato evidence is just gone. They didn't test the water for starches.
And he would have
And
had
now the craziest, just 1,000 ways to die just happen again. And it just so happens that he might have also been sleeping with one of the Obamas.
he would have had way more sex with Michelle Obama and wrote that tell-all book if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you?
Senator Paul.
We need the mystery team, the mystery machine team. Wait, what is their actual? Is it the What did they actually call them?
Mystery Machine was the
Was the van?
was the van.
What did they call themselves as a team? What was it? I forgot.
I don't know. They had a team name.
I thought they had
No,
kind
had
of like a little
team
name
I don't know.
for. Either way, we need the Scooby-Doo gang to figure this on out.
Senator Rand Paul says the real reason for the TikTok ban was censorship. So this is where I would totally agree. And I was not really in favor of the TikTok ban, like leaning over like 1%, like 51%, right? Because I do agree that we need to take something Chinese data servers collecting information on us.
We need to protect national security.
Got to take that serious.
Yeah.
But I also do think government turning down company and shutting them down is bad.
Yeah.
Non-communism.
It's a non-freedom thing.
Yeah.
And we're about freedom here in this country.
And so Mr. Rand Paul was saying, I do believe that banning the social media app like TikTok is a violation of the First Amendment. Very disappointed. 170 million Americans express themselves on TikTok on a daily basis, and it's just wrong for the government to ban it. And so my theory of conspiracy would be the deep state government didn't like TikTok because it was kind of Chinese controlled, and that algorithm was promoting truths about the deep state United States government. So like, oh, that's the only one they wanted to shut down.
It's not like China was going to block an algorithm that promoted Americans finding out that they're being led by a bunch of sneaky snakes.
It's not like any of the other social medias have some sort of Chinese investment and have a little bit of our data on Chinese servers. I hope not, but
yeah. What is the censorship going to entail? What if the censorship is censoring Chinese spies spying on us? I mean, if that could be qualified as the censoring, that's not bad.
So the other thing that I thought was interesting, though, which is also they had to ban them, otherwise we would have been weak-handed, is because they said, hey, we're going to ban you if you don't divest that Chinese investment and work with Oracle, because Oracle had a deal where they would have moved all the data to the United States, and they just didn't do it. So they said F you, and they were trying to play chicken with America. So I think it is a little bit strange that, Donald Trump just brought it back without like a sealed deal, because then now it's kind of like they can keep pushing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Trump might need to re-ban them if they renege on that deal.
Yeah. Or we could just, come up with a new let's just remake TikTok in an American with an American company.
Well, so then that was the other trick, dude, is if Mr. Wonderful and private investor guy bought it, the word was they'd have to buy it and scrap the awesome algorithm and then rebuild that to be like something in-house made American.
But
so
I
that's the whole business.
I think that's probably the intended goal of it. But, I mean, think about it. Also being in Trump's shoes, they all, orange man bad, this and that. He's going to bet. All the people were crying their eyes out that TikTok was going to be banned. Like, it's not like we have all these other platforms to do short videos on. So it's not like you'd really miss out on that much.
You can do it on Instagram.
So it's like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. There's reels on everything now. R.I.P. Vine.
Yeah. Do you remember the story of Vine? We brought that up the other day, and I had to remind myself. You know who bought Vine? Twitter.
Oh.
And then they murdered it because they just didn't do anything with it because they had horrible leadership back then.
I mean, they probably seen it just as competition. Jack Doherty did back then. So, because that's normally what companies buy other companies for. Kind of just like Pfizer buying patents to bury them.
Took the words out of my mouth. Thank God for Vivek Ramaswamy. buying patents off Pfizer and then bringing them to market to save people's lives.
Yeah. So, I mean, being in Trump's shoes, people already hate the shit out of him. They've been indoctrinated to. So, what are you going to do? Piss off that many more people? There's plenty of actual right-leaning people that love TikTok too, because there's a lot. That's one of the main places you can get this and spread this info of truth, which some people would say is conspiracy and whatnot. So he's seen that. He's like, he probably is thinking to himself, I just don't believe, it'd be the best move. At least right now, the people already hate me. If I ban it, people are going to be like, oh, boo him. But look, hey, idea. It gets banned. I'm the one who brings it back. They'll be like, hey, look at that. He actually kept it alive. Yes, maybe I hated Trump before, but since he actually brought it back, now I might like him, just literally solely based off this one app that I'm like chronically addicted to.
Or making your business off of.
Yeah.
Even if you hate Trump type thing.
Right, yeah.
So I think it's also, he may have just did it for the memes, right? Because like, I'm upset. And then they bring it back. I don't want to say thank you, Trump, because head explode. In the chat, it was a great point here I wanted to note. Mr. Niltamir said that people now in the alt news space are saying that Sean Ryan is a PSYOP agent. I don't know who to believe anymore. It's always some kind of an X 3-letter agency gone truther. Very interesting.
I mean, yeah, you can say that about a whole lot of different people. People say Vivek's a PSYOP. People say Trump's a PSYOP. People have said, well, what else?
And that's where I'm like, whoa, we can't blackpill everything, but yes, let's look into it.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as you like to say.
Tricky.
But it's good that we are, because that's that. I don't just you can't blindly trust anything.
Right.
Not blindly trusting Trump.
Nor us.
Oh, we're not blindly trusting. I'll blindly trust my mother. That's about the only one.
Dad, I'm a half there.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Steezy is also pointing out that pretty much what's gonna go on here, we could have another October 7th here very soon. Absolutely, man. And then I guess that woman Sarah is part of an anti-terrorist for us.
Yeah, CIA personnel.
Neat. So so she's doing like a tell-all book.
Right. Good to know the fridge is cooling. I mean, it's not like if it was broke, you couldn't use a free refrigerator, which we have right now in the Midwest, being winter outside. Except some things don't need to freeze, and everything is freezing.
Right now is the best time.
If we have anybody watching from outside of the Midwest or Illinois in general, just let you know it's supposed to get down to -10 tonight. A little bit chilly.
Yeah.
Little bit.
This is one of those times where you're like, my freezer broke, so I just threw it outside. Oh, no, it actually made it more freezer burn. Son of a bitch. It was colder than I keep my freezer. Yeah. So I thought that this was just a good time to remind us that we should celebrate the shift to logic, like while we can, right? So first, Mr. Arnold wants you to forget that he ever said, screw your freedom. He was like, take the vaccine, screw your freedom,
Yeah.
Take the vaccine, get down, the COVID's coming. We gotta get to the helicopter, the COVID's coming.
You have to get to the clinic. You have to get the shot.
We don't care about your freedom. They're going to kill us. Get the vaccine.
No freedom if we're not alive. You have to get it, otherwise you die.
And so now he doesn't want to die, culturally. He makes an apology. And he now apologizes for saying those words.
Hey, you know what? I'd say that is far. I'll just say this: did we get an apology from Fauci?
But like, they're just celebrity flip floppers, man. Like, no, like
or he could have been ignorant.
We didn't listen to him in the first place.
Just like more than likely, Trump's warp speed was his cabinet going, "Hey, yo."
Great example.
So I mean, hey. That is a busy man.
Great example.
I mean, hey,
we're
invested in this, and we barely know all of it yet.
And he doesn't even watch TrutherCast.
So yeah, he's probably blindly ignorant to those facts. So he probably just had his doctor, which he might totally not have known. Would have lost his job if he told him not to get the shot. He's like, oh, yeah, I better tell all my other fellow Californians, like, hey, my doctor, he's been good to me all these years.
Went to the doctor. He told me to get the vaccine. You should get the vaccine.
I don't think doctor can lie, right?
Get
You know, he might not even know that, how the medical industry is and whatnot. So, hey, at least he is saying sorry. Because Fauci is not so sorry as far as I'm aware, and he literally lied to our faces. The truth has come out about it, and where is he now? Oh, guess what? He's going to go, what do I need to say sorry for? I've been pardoned. I've done nothing wrong.
I went to my doctor to get the information, so I said you should take the vaccine. Oh yeah, who's your doctor, Arnold? It's Tony Fauci.
It could be a possibility.
Which, by the way, I think Fauci was slipping in with Arnold. That was a pretty cool voice there.
I was gonna say he was very.
Somehow it got a little bit Tony Fauci. I don't know. Am I Austrian or New Jersey? I don't know.
They're morphing.
They're morphing together. It's because I saw my doctor way too much last week.
I don't know what he put in this vaccine, but I feel like
bro, now, dude, that was Arnold Austrian accent doing a Tony Fauci. So I challenge you, because I can't do it. Now do a Chinese person doing an American accent. Go. do an Indian guy doing an American accent. That one breaks my brain.
think we can. I think if we're streaming on YouTube, I'm pretty sure we gonna get dinged for that one.
That one breaks my brain. Hey,
Bobby Lee, I know you totally watched the show. Come on, do an impression.
Mr. Steezy, I love it. Popping off in the live chat tonight. Thanks for hanging out. It's about how Al Qaeda is spelled wrong. About 1,000 troops. Yeah, they sent already 1,000 troops. Text coming this year. Yeah, well, the whole open border thing, right, bro? I can't believe something didn't pop off yet, but one would conspiracy theorize. They wanted all of the people to come in illegally that were going to pop off and do something under Daddy Trump's like presidency. Because like when were the Antifa BLM riots? That was 1 year into Donald Trump's presidency.
God.
I believe that's the timeline, right?
Hard to think.
So and then we all thought that they were going to have people coming in here, military age men, to be popping off, for like the election. That didn't happen. Or like the inauguration, that just didn't happen.
Yeah,
but the worst we had was the first, and that was like half-assed. It wasn't like a military operation on our soil.
Yeah, put yourself in their shoes from a strategic standpoint. What's the word been around America? All of us right-wingers that are the only people they got to be worried about are all like, hey, they're here, they're gonna pop off. They know we're talking about it. So are you going to then be like, okay, guys, now they're totally prepared for us. Let's attack now. No, you attack your enemy when they are at ease. And so that's why the upcoming few years are going to be the most, because a lot of us are now at ease, especially after Inauguration Day. Like, okay, Trump's still alive so far. He didn't get off at the inauguration. That's good. We can calm down a little bit now. And you always got, as some people say, don't get caught lacking. And we could get caught lacking if we don't, keep thinking about that. So just because
don't
things
get
are
caught clacking, or don't get caught clacking either. That's bad. The ATF will come after you just like the jab. They'll get you.
Don't lack at clacking either. Don't get caught lacking, and don't lack at clacking. I like that.
So then I also thought a good culture shift was, holy shite, Huntington Beach, California just said that they will declare themselves a non-sanctuary city and will directly defy Gavin Newsom and work right there with Trump to help deport criminal aliens.
Hey.
So California waking up, bro.
Hey, while you're thinking about California, I know you got a lot of pride, but start thinking about like not California, surrounding territories. Think like the surrounding territories of Illinois. And maybe California, they are big, so let's they might be a little bit too big for their britches. Let's downsize them a little bit and extradite some of the counties to be another state's counties, and they're just part of that state. Have you seen that?
Maybe we would just give a little bit of California to Mexico and say, it's called the Gulf of America. That's okay. You can have the bottom half of California for it.
There's
Making a deal. The bottom half is the worst half, so you
right
can have it.
there.
No big
There's
deal.
there's a lot of counties trying to succeed from Illinois,
Well, yeah.
and they have been.
In Oregon, they're
Yeah.
trying to become Idaho.
Interesting little factoid I seen today. It was 230 like four, I want to believe. I don't know the exact number, but it was over 200,000 Illinoisans between, I think it was, I don't know, I believe it was a year span, 23 to 24, left Illinois. An interesting tidbit to think about, like to put in perspective, that's like the population of Rockford entirely. Just imagine, Rockford all of a sudden, ghost town, nobody here. All because of Democrat policies.
What?
Just like a whole giant bustling city that's been here from the 60s, all of a sudden, nobody's there anymore. They all moved other places. It's a ghost town.
That's crazy.
Because it wasn't one city, it was just Illinois in total. But wow. To think that we're a big city.
Yeah, I know there's a whole bunch of people
So
bouncing.
a whole
Illinois
city
was like
has
highest on the list or
left.
something.
A whole
Yeah.
city has left
Oh,
in
that's total?
population.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What if to solve the criminal alien problem, we just rose the border of Mexico and Canada? So we just like say all the people closest to the Mexican border, boom, you're back in Mexico. And then the people closest to the Canadian border are maybe more close to American values. No, you're American now. So it's just like a little bit.
I mean, but we still have a lot of people. Remember, they were using our dollars, our you and I's dollars to pay to fly them, which some of you have never even had money to buy a plane ticket, unfortunately, to go travel somewhere, see someplace new. They're just shipping them all over the United States, especially up north. I don't know who it was. I didn't look into it. I didn't have quite enough time, but I seen that somebody announced Rockford is going to be a sanctuary city now, officially.
Yeah, dude.
And
we
I
gotta
think
get out
that's
of
why.
Illinois, bro. The Illinois senator
Here's
was
what we do.
grilling Hegseth. And I was like, no, that is not what you were elected for. She was like, I'm here for my Illinois representatives, and I'm gonna, and I was like, oh no, Illinois sucks.
I think we should either blackmail or bribe a harp guy, somebody that actually controls harp.
Mm-hmm.
And we get him, make it rain over Cook County for a really long time.
40 days.
And we
40 nights.
just start pumping water into, Lake Michigan.
Out of?
Lake Michigan is the one that is next to Illinois, right? Yeah.
But I was saying, make Lake Michigan flood.
Just enough rain so Lake Michigan basically grows, and all of a sudden Cook County is all underwater, and let's just claim it international water.
After we've evacuated all the people so no one gets hurt. Back to the we are not medical advisors.
They'll probably mostly float. Yeah, just float to the shoreline wherever it, is still dry.
Yeah, what's the diabetes percentage in Chicago?
You
listen
picking
to
on
your-
us because we like the pizza? Huh? We like a deep dish? You're just saying we're big because we like deep dish pizza, huh?
Yeah, man, Italian people are fat. You can get away with saying that one, right?
Not all of them. There's plenty. Hey, New Jersey Shore.
Of all of
The
the
Jersey Shore. Example.
of all the nationalities and races in Chicago, I think that's probably the only one you can get away with saying that.
Yeah, because they're not going to go call the cops. They're just going to say it to your face. Hey, screw you, man.
Hey, come over here and I'll give you a
They
slice
gonna-
of pizza.
They're gonna do the problem face to face as men, like how we used to do it back in the day. And how we still should do
recommend
it.
any kind of medical advice here. However, I would like to point out the news information for you of the week. We now have a third Japanese study relating to the COVID vaccine, and they have definitively shown that people are more likely to get the COVID sickness the more vaccines that you've gotten. Now, we've seen early research of this, and I've talked about this. We've talked about it on the show. I've been talking about this for 2-3 years. I think we already had like, speculative evidence or something, right? I think it was very, very right away. Maybe 1-2 years, because it was like vaccine had to be out for like 6 months to a year before we would even have speculative evidence. But Japan does another study, just like the study we were talking about 3 episodes ago when YouTube tried to, or they successfully just completely removed the video. So YouTube, do your job. Like, you can't just like silence and censor us, bro. We're just telling the news here. We're not giving any medical advice. I appealed it, and you guys, disagreed and just didn't communicate with me at all, and then removed the video. So that's bullshit. I'm just talking about the news here. Nobody recommended anything to anybody in that episode, nor this episode. So, kick rocks about like, trying to censor everything, because everybody on YouTube should come to Rumble anyway, man.
Man, it sounds almost like what you're saying is, so, I mean, would the government censoring TikTok? Hey, maybe it might even be less censorship. Everything has been censored.
Well, it's when the good guys are in control.
Everything
it would
since
be
we've
okay.
had a TV to broadcast stuff,
Right.
everything has some censorship.
No,
So-
there's a lot less. I just watched a documentary on Bam Margera's house, and they were talking about Jackass, and the producer guy said, when we first started the show of Bam's show, what is it? Viva La Bam.
Viva La Bam.
Yeah, the book that the producer had to be like, no, we can't show that on television was 200 pages long. After the 5th season, it was 700 pages long.
Oh, well, but think about it. That is technically privately owned.
So it was like 40 things back in the like 60s.
Like whatever
when TV
channel they
started.
were using, privately owned.
You're right.
I would almost
MTV.
like to argue
It was MTV.
the private companies, aka YouTube,
They can say
have-
whatever they want, technically.
well, what I'm getting at is, I think they actually censor more than government-owned entities, because they have laws for them where they can't exactly. It's been a little ish since, I'm gonna remind you guys again, 2013 Obama legalized propaganda. So not everything you see on TV is truth. Also, censored and propaganda are two totally different ball games to get into. Which one's more dangerous?
Which Barack Obama made propaganda legal again during his tenure.
Yep, 2013. Quick side note, thank you for the good wishes on the kitty cat Steezy. She seems to be bounced back a little bit, and also
That was Niltamir actually asking you.
oh yeah, that is thank you, Sean, very very much. But also, how's another double check? Let us know in the live chat how the sound is in here
Are we
while
sounding okay?
we watch this clip.
An hour and a half into the show. Oh, yeah, there's not much because this guy just kind of talks, so I summed it up for you here. But if you like this kind of medical advice, you should definitely follow our really good friend of the show, Mr. Dr. John Campbell. He's not, censored off YouTube, but he's had videos taken down, even though he is
not censored off YouTube, but he's certainly been
doctor.
censored on YouTube.
Yeah, no. So we're just covering things on YouTube, and nobody here is telling anybody any medical advice. Seek your own medical counsel, folks.
First off, I mean, normally the people who give that medical advice at least have some sort of accreditation that they've like learned some things. If you take medical advice from somebody that has no medical background and this and that, blah blah blah, you should probably think about that a little bit. Like that's kind of like they're just believing Fugazi or telling you some bullshit that it's some other shit. You got to,
There was,
do your own research.
There was a lot of clips from the hearings of Trump's appointees, so we might need to like rapid round through those because like that could eat up a lot of flipping time.
Yeah.
But I got a few clips that I posted. I think this is from one of the hearings. Mr. Bernie Sanders being an idiot.
What Biden said last night is we're moving toward an oligarchy. I'm asking you that question. Do you think, forget how they made their money, do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that the
President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs.
Oh, woo!
That's why I'm surprised.
I want to meet that man in person, give him a very firm handshake.
And that's why I'm surprised it took longer for the United States government, deep state system, to ban TikTok. Great example right there, bro.
You want to understand how an oligarch works, Bernie? Go research Russian oligarchs, man. Come on. Jeez.
Oh, that was awesome. Do you think it's an oligarchy? What that guy said, what Biden said is like, oh, Trump's team's an oligarchy. I just couldn't help but notice. Biden like oligarch too.
It's the team. And there's always going to be two teams. And no matter what you call it, if you call that team an oligarch, a monopoly, the majority, there's always going to be two sides, maybe a few sides, but
there's always three sides to the story, though.
See, that's the way to say it. But guess what? What's the only one that matters?
The truth.
The truth side.
Amen.
Which is the good side. Good and evil. Yin and yang. But I'll take back the yin and yang. Because that's about balance. And that makes me sound like we need to balance good and evil. Just no evil.
That's why Satan exists.
Mostly good.
Good people wouldn't create awesome stuff.
We don't need equal bad and good. We need less evil, more bad. No, more good. Misspoke.
Wow, Satan.
That's going to get clipped into some bad stuff.
TrutherCast host says we should nuke all the Jewish people.
We need
no,
evil
we
bad.
did not say that. No. Shady. Don't be making terrible AI horrible things.
When you say a whole lot of words, it's hard to keep them all exactly in line through the word.
Pedophiles. So,
me neither.
I thought to commemorate the Supreme Court upholding the D.C. court with the 9-0 because TikTok did not divest from the Chinese company, and Apple and Google must remove the app from their store, and they were going to get shut down and everything. We should commemorate that with the video that got Mr. Crowder kicked off of TikTok.
Now, I am going to close my TikTok. The 9-dash line isn't real. Mao's Great Leap Forward led to the death of 45 million Chinese citizens. Are we hitting those? Boom, boom, go! We got to add the little extra offense to it there, Keegan. On June 4th, 1989, the CCP murdered thousands of protesters at the Tiananmen Square. Taiwan is, in fact, a real country and not a part of communist China. More than 1 million Uyghur Muslims are detained in re-education camps in Xinjiang right now. Boom, boom, go! By the way, also, kimchi is Korean, not Chinese. COVID likely originated, and by likely, I mean absolutely originated at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And Xi Jinping looks exactly like Winnie the Pooh when he gets stuck in the honey tree. China's one-child policy led to millions of forced abortions. Boom, boom, go! And the Senkaku Islands, I just want to make sure I get this clear so that you can remove me appropriately, TikTok. The Senkaku Islands, however, I don't care. The point is, it belongs to Japan, not you. And finally, I think all of us can say this in unity on the count of 3. 3, 2, fuck the CCP! Okay, Austin, get that up on TikTok over there. I appreciate it, and I encourage every single one of you to delete your own TikToks. If you have it, stop buying into the CCP subversion and let us know if you deleted it. Share a picture and using the hashtag #TrashTikTok. Using that hashtag #TrashTikTok.
So apparently they don't have a TikTok social media strategy.
I'd like to say, wow, that dude was speaking some truth and he got banned. I mean, we're not on TikTok, but hey, we're still here and we've been speaking the truth. We're trying to find the truth out, you know. I mean, we're not banned on YouTube yet. Hopefully not ever.
To say that Xi Jinping looks like Winnie the Pooh because apparently that's like his biggest pet peeve. That cracks me up. Oh God!
Hey, that's just like I'm
You
sure.
go to jail and they murder you
Oh,
if you
dude,
like
I bet.
have pictures.
I bet
of
if North
them.
Koreans called Rocket Man, or he probably likes
Little Rocket Man.
He probably likes Rocket Man. If you call him Little Rocket Man, he would probably throw you into prison to get murdered.
Straight to jail. Do you remember the time that Obama, Bush, and Clinton told all the Americans to take an emergency experimental vaccine for COVID-19? That video didn't get taken down YouTube.
Bogus.
So do you think they should be charged with felonies instead of Trump? What do you think, live chat? Should these three guys be charged with felonies for taking people to take an experimental vaccine that now has a ridiculous laundry list of side effects that we covered last week by Pfizer?
Including death.
Sudden death was on there.
That thing that is like the main thing that's supposed to protect against. Like the whole reason you get it is to not die. And ironically enough, you could die.
Again, bad take. I like.
You know what? Those would be the only deaths that they'd actually mislabel, and it'd be a bad way of. Wait, no, I'm getting this mixed. Never mind. I didn't.
So bad take.
I was gonna say I was trying to compare it to all these COVID deaths that were like car crashes, and they're like, oh no, COVID.
Gotta get paid. Bad take. I like to not throw the baby out with the bathwater because Putin makes me laugh and like him when he says things like, "Oh yeah, we murdered that spy by sudden death."
I mean, or
we didn't
making
murder him; it was sudden death. I was like, "Oh, they're gonna use their own like." They're gonna use their own thing against them.
Like, yeah, no. I mean, hey,
we didn't kill him. It was sudden death.
Hey, that's goes with everything. We can't like, yeah.
It makes me laugh, but like in a bad way.
Putin, old KGB.
Death's bad.
He's obviously killed a lot of people through trying to gain territory back and whatnot. But at the same time, the man does some things that you can't be that mad at, like banning GMO foods in the country. Like,
and then something about promoting Christian values.
Yeah. Did you see he actually just
he banned Satan.
They just
banned Satan.
They just built a massive church that's like just for their military for the most part. And it for one, it is a beautiful structure.
Wow.
You know how like Moscow has all those like with the like domes on top and it's like crazy colors and there's gold everywhere and it's kind of like it's like wow, like that entertains my eyes.
Yeah.
Instead of all this like
we have a square gray building with windows in it and it's supposed to be our like national capital, this and that. I'm not talking shit about the actual capital. I'm just like trying to say like a bunch of buildings that are supposed to be monumental and our architectures went to shit over the years.
Like we make libraries or this or that.
Well, like everything we're building just looks bleh.
Yeah.
Like there's no like there's no heart and
it's all because of money
and saving money and all that. But
it wouldn't be cost effective if we actually made it look nice.
Like, I mean, where was it when we were taking pride in building beautiful structures? And he is still doing it. I'm just glad to see that we have the capability. One thing that was actually pretty cool is a lot of the steel, or if not all of the steel, used in the cathedral is from tanks, Russian tanks and armored vehicles that have been perished and people have died in through their wars.
That's iconic.
Gotta give you a little prop for that. What a like,
because that's like paying homage and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like,
that's
he sends a lot of people through the meat grinder, but I mean, yeah. At the same time,
so do we.
At least he's trying, like we sure have in the past.
Golly.
Like, was there a better way to do D-Day? I can't say.
Well, we still do.
With
we sent
our
a bunch
capability.
of people over to freaking Afghanistan and Iraq for like no reason.
Well,
Vietnam, Agent Orange, blah blah blah.
luckily, like in our modern, like
All militaries send people into a
Afghanistan,
meat
we,
grinder.
we lost such a less significant amount of people there for like years. We've been fighting
Sure.
compared to D-Day. D-Day was
Sure.
just such a slaughter.
Well, that's the egregious one.
and
there,
that's
yeah.
why we have a national holiday to remember all of that, because remember, all y'all, freedom was not free. A lot of blood has been shed by a lot of innocent men out there that did it for your freedom. So next time you see a service member or they announce that you thank them for their service, because I don't see you non-service members offering yourselves in front lines to make sure other families get to raise their kids in still and about to be the again best #1 that we've ever seen country in the world. Yes, we massacred Indians and this and that, blah blah blah. Guess what? Tell me a territory that anybody has ever had and claim theirs, and they didn't have to shed some blood from another person that was fighting over the territory.
Well, that's another he said, she said too, bro, because there's all these stories that they were actually slaughtering their own people, and then they tried to slaughter us.
And
then,
yeah,
like,
and they
we
were.
just conquered them.
And they were. Yeah, so
I don't think that's okay, or I don't know if it's like recommended, but then we're here and we have iPhones.
Genghis Khan took a whole lot of territory, but it's the end goal. Genghis Khan was basically, you could say, the first communist dictator of back then. You know, he did it so then they could just like keep doing their horrible rhetoric and running their countries, having just slaves and all this. We did this so we could have freedom in our lives and not people peering down our necks, possibly just throwing us in jail to be murdered. It's the most free country on the planet we've ever seen. I'd say the one group of people that might not have, you could say technically maybe, didn't have bloodshed on their hands to get the territory, were Jews.
What?
Because they didn't technically have an army and like
But
go
like
get
the
it.
Holocaust?
Gave it to them. What do you mean? I'm talking about like Jewish fighting force. They took over a country and said, "This is our country." Like we gave Israel's land.
Like they didn't have to kill people to get their land back.
Other people did. They didn't.
Yeah, you
So
could.
that's what I'm saying.
You
Like,
can't say there wasn't bloodshed to get it.
hey, that's not what I said. That's not what that I said.
Right, that's how I think I took
Those
it.
specific people.
That's how I think I took it.
Technically didn't do any bloodshed.
Yes.
But
I don't think
bloodshed
he said it that
happened
way at
for
first.
them to have their land.
Yes. They had to shed their own blood to earn the land.
Yeah.
That's tricky. Joe Biden received $174 million in anonymous contributions, making him the top recipient of dark money support in American political history. And so, like, why is that not over the mainstream media? Like, I thought they were supposed to be journalists, man. Like, talk about, like, great example of why you should join the locals.massdash.com and help, bring awareness to other people in your life, your friends, your family, because this ain't going to be covered by the TV, folks. Like, Joe Biden's literally the largest recipient of dark money, and they talked all poo-poo during the campaign about something Trump and dark money and shit. And again, it's projection.
Yeah. Again, let's remind the people Trump was the first president or only president. I can't remember. It was either the first president in a long time or he's the only one to lose net worth in office.
I think the only since we started paying attention to it, at least.
Yeah.
And didn't take a salary from the United States.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. But
all these other presidents and Congress members seem to. Another one I didn't know. Newsom's salary compared to the house that his multi-million-dollar mansion.
What
It's
about
like,
that?
well, how does he buy that with his
I know,
salary?
right? Book deal, man.
Yep, he's making deals for himself with the presidential power. Oh wait, is that like maybe the start of an oligarchy?
So did you hear that Trump was like, "Hey man, we're gonna just like tax everything on you, Denmark, and they were like, you know, on second thought, we think it's up to Greenland. They can do you like if they want to like, you know, like if they want you to like take them, cool, man. Like just don't wreck our entire GDP and our entire economy, please.
Well, you know,
the art of the deal, folks.
You got to pay to play, as they say.
But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world.
Yeah, it's like too quiet.
One thing point that I haven't made in the past, all these people say, oh, tariffs. They're gonna. I'm not a fan of him taxing all of our allies. You know, like those are our allies. Like, why do you got to tax them so bad? First, what are they doing for our country? You know, we pay their tariffs on their exports.
Yin yang, man, like you said, yin yang.
Well, hey, guess what?
There's too much yin, not enough yang.
Yeah, they're our ally. But what the real story is we're their ally.
It's called a dependent.
They wanted, we're allies because they wanted the best, most egregious fighting force in the world on their back as help, which is us. We're not going to send that out for free.
Yeah.
If you gonna want us to back you up, you got to be, you know, the bowl, what's it called? The bowl they pass around at church for the offering, the offering bowl.
Offering bowl, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you do that to help pay the church's people's salary that are working there.
Right.
Yeah. Think about it like that. You want us to, with our the most spent in money on any military in the world, and you think that's just going to be a free service?
I know, right? Dude?
No, you got to put into the system a little bit.
That's where
you got to trade skis.
Had the big win getting NATO to start paying some bills and shit like that.
I mean, you
right?
can't even put a price on that. To be honest, like that's
Well, and they
priceless.
wouldn't
Having
be
an
able to pay it.
American military be behind you.
Right. And then they're tinier, so they wouldn't be able to pay it. But something. A little bit of skin in the game or something, you know, some sort of a trade.
I mean, or you could just not have us as an ally anymore.
And then if you did that, we wouldn't have to come into your country and just like ruin it and be like a terrible military industrial complex bully. So yeah, man, he might actually do something with Greenland. That'd be interesting. But now Greenland people, Greenlanders are like, we're Greenlanders. We're not even Denmark. So like, we want to talk with Trump. So are they thinking that Trump's gonna like make a deal to just like make them their own country?
Have you seen a lot of them wearing Trump hats? They're wearing the MAGA hats.
It's like, nah, we're not saying you're gonna be your own country. We're saying you're gonna be a state, bro.
Like you could be
you could have your
territory,
governor.
territory
like
of the U.S.
Puerto Rico or something. Yeah. That'd be interesting. As usual, this is insane levels of projection from the deep state system with a stranglehold on the states, shifting blame to the private industry, labeling them oligarchs, attempting to character assassinate by way of simpleton poor opinion of the rich. Really painful. Joe Biden says this as the guy in an investigation of selling policy for loads of money. So this is him saying, you know, like, oh, the oligarchs are bad, right? And I said, you know, oligarchs is kind of like a gun, right? It's not, you know, the gun at fault. It's the intention, not the noun. So it's not the gun that's bad. It's not the, you know, so-and-so that's bad, right? But this was his farewell address.
That's why my farewell address tonight. I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms. You know, his farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about, and I quote, the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power, end of quote. 6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well.
That's so painful, bro.
Are you not talking about the media that's already been doing that the whole time you've been in there?
By your decree. Like, what?
Is it?
He's like, oh, they said military. Don't think about that. Wait, we told them to do it. Oh shit. Oh,
Not only does he seem like he's on a pot edible, he is the pot calling the kettle black.
Social media is giving up on fact checking. The truth is.
By social media, he means just the Facebook.
You're talking about
and fact checking.
Hired people, sorted people for these community notes that were at once only sorted to be on the one side of the story.
For the fact checking, not community notes. Yeah.
Well, it's basically the same thing.
Where it was full bias. No. Community notes are regular citizens.
What I'm saying,
not people
like,
working for a journalistic organization that's completely
community
paid by the
notes
deep state.
used to be when Jack Doherty owned it.
No, there
the
were
same
no community
thing.
notes in Jack Dorsey.
Really?
No, Elon Musk invented it. He's the one who added it to X. It's a big deal.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, there was never anything like that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I retract that statement.
Okay. So like,
better
the fact
ways.
checkers, right? Like PolitiFact and
Yeah,
factcheck.org, blah blah blah, who are like totally biased, bro. Not totally biased. They're totally biased.
Smothered by lies.
Nah, I don't know. This is what happens when
they
we
went
go backwards
boss.
in the time feed.
Boss, this guy's saying the truth. Should I let it slide? No. Okay, that's a fact.
That's how PolitiFact worked and shit like that, bro.
Right,
And then that's how they passed the whole like very fine people hoax.
Yeah.
And Elon posted this week, he was like, I lost the last little respect for Barack Obama when he brought up the very fine people hoax at the rally for Kamala Harris. And it was like, yeah, that's finally what did it, bro. Like, okay.
Yeah.
God dang. Yeah, I'm all about helping make sure that things are like fair in life, even though it's fundamentally not fair. Like, hey, let's try to make things like equal opportunity. But $125 billion on the concept of DEI seems to just go a little bit too far, in my humble opinion. And
That's
I don't
a lot
see
of money.
I don't see the good ROI on that one, man.
Yeah. First off, like, what are you doing with the money to then qualify it to call it's for DEI? What are you spending that money on? Are you making companies that like
what's the ROI?
Are just like referees and calling up companies like, hey, we're doing a poll. We got to get some data on you. How many women do you have working for you? How many black people do you have working for you? And other races and everything. We got to make sure. And they're just shit. And we know how the government works. If that's how it's working, those people are getting paid $500,000 a year to ask, divisive questions and
racist questions. But the takeaway here, okay, I misspoke. It wasn't 125 entirely on DEI. That was like the whole budget. So the whole budget is $125 billion of our United States taxpayer dollars. And the takeaway here is they're using 113 on DEI, bro. And look at how much all these other important things are getting. Agriculture conservation program gets $100 million out of that.
No wonder our way of life has been shit.
Commerce, minority, business development gets only 133.
Our roads are shit. Our crops are filled with poisons. Yeah, no wonder they have these tiny little budgets.
Small business development only gets $1 billion, homie.
You know what's interesting too? They are definitely funneling a bunch of money, allegedly, because that is keyword diversity. Let me ask you, what do you think the key word out of this sentence is? Diversity in federal contracting.
That sounds like some blanket ass statement you can make go to anything, bro.
But what's the key word in that?
Diversity or contracting?
Federal.
Oh, okay.
So that's no private businesses.
Yeah.
That's government officials getting paid a fuck ton of money.
I mean, that's what
to make sure people are diversifying.
Well, it's like a federal.
So not
budget,
only are they stealing and laundering our money in other ways, allegedly, they are blatantly just going like just how that bill that got nulled down, luckily, because you found out in the fine print that it was going to up a bunch of government workers' salaries by a whole bunch.
Yeah, that big bill that got shot down because of Elon Musk and all of us finally speaking up.
It's almost like, hey, congratulations, people.
Cost of living, bro. Stop living
awareness.
like a baller. Golly. Socially disadvantaged and veterans, farmers, and ranchers program got the least amount of money out of the 125.
Who would have guessed? Yeah, just like I said before, another reason you bet like the only guess what? They ain't getting money from the government to say thank you for your service. You telling them, genuinely, thank you for that is honestly almost 50% of why they do it.
Right.
So it's important because obviously, if you know anything about vets, they don't get shit when they get back for help with anything, barely ever. It's so rare. And then guess who has the biggest suicide rate in the land? Oh, veterans in our military.
Yeah, I can't believe
Yeah,
we're
no
not
wonder
fixing
because
that.
they're like, go out and shed blood and like piss blood, not see your family for months on end,
Watch
and
out, all your friends die.
get a bunch of PTSD, and you come back, they're like, hey, you did some stuff cool. Time to start paying your debt, you little debt slave worker bee. Like, no wonder.
Absolutely insane.
It's outrageous and just disgusting.
Yep. Absolutely insane. So like you got to make sure to share this stuff out, folks. Like the only way we're going to get this fixed is if we get more public opinion to get loud and politely protest type thing of like we got to spend our money better, dude. Like
Yeah.
veteran what are veteran farmers, but like disadvantaged veterans, something ranchers
Socially
getting the least amount of
disadvantaged.
money. Like, bro, why are they getting the least amount of money, bro?
What is social?
Minorities,
I would like to.
cool, get some money, but like that's not enough money for minority business development. Like they should be getting more money. Small businesses. I'm biased. I'm a small business. We should all be trying to help promote small business because that helps a diverse community.
It's almost like that's what
commerce
the
and-
backbone of America has been built off.
So share this
All
out, folks.
General Mills, all these big companies were once small.
Join the locals.massdash.com. And when you see stuff like this, share this to your friends and family and help them know about this too. Because the only way we got Daddy Trump elected is because people started paying attention. And right now, it sucks, but we got to take advantage of everybody being at rock bottom and having the financial gun to their head and finally waking up and starting to pay attention. And we got to make sure that we fix a lot of things at this time in America where people are effing paying attention, bro.
Yeah.
So share this out and let's try and grow the viewership here. Make sure to check out that alt news creators list on the TrutherCast.com and help your friend or family member like mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, Joe, Bob, Cindy, Larry, Mary. Help them open up a Rumble account, open up an X account, and follow these alt news creators. If you got a YouTube account, I got a bunch of alt news creators that are on YouTube on that list, but help them make those accounts, help promote learning and understanding and finding the truth, bro, because that's some bullshit, bro.
More awareness for more realization.
Amen, man. That's the motto
I
around
want to
here.
Google what socially disadvantaged is supposed to mean. It might mean different in this specific, thing, but I want to see there's a general. Do they have a general definition? Look at that. USDA.gov.
Zoom in. The 2501 program fund projects to support the following: provided education, technical assistance, training in agriculture, agribusiness, forestry, agriculturally related services, and USDA programs. Conduct outreach designed to assist historically underserved farmers in participating in USDA programs. So it is farmers? So that's why they say veteran farmers.
Well, no, I want to know what socially disadvantaged means. Why do they specifically say that? Are they said something about ranchers, so it's like, are they in like the territory that's vast and like they're not around neighbors, so like they're not that sociable, like easily reached? Like, what is socially disadvantaged? Do they have medical conditions? Are there
Sure,
special people out there farming because that's what they like to do? Like, I don't think that's exactly what it would be. Like, socially disadvantaged. What does that mean? I'd probably just look up socially disadvantaged and that's it. Like, what does it mean to be socially disadvantaged?
You can also put quotes around something in a search thingy, and it's supposed to pull up something with literally that in it.
Supposed to. Google might have changed that search algorithm a while ago.
No, it still works that way. So, like,
Well,
DEI farmers?
I was gonna say, based off the picture, black farmers.
That's shady. They're saying that
Right?
like,
Yeah.
black people are just socially disadvantaged,
Yeah, that seems a little racist. I feel.
which will help to ensure the farmers of color and veteran farmers are equitably served by USD programs and that they have equal opportunities for success in agriculture.
Oh, so yeah, it's a racist thing.
What? And well, and veterans.
Like, I mean, it wasn't that popular for black people to be farming for a lot, but there's been plenty of them that have been doing it very successfully. Like,
I believe it was pretty popular because when they got out of slavery, that was the skill that they were good at, and then a lot of them became farmers.
right?
If I recall
that would
tidbit
make
of history.
sense. Like,
Historically, military veterans and farmers of color have not participated in our benefit from the USDA programs to the same extent as other farmers. What? So it's DEI for farmers, and it's still the lowest thing on the list. What?
and
What?
man. Again, you give you give power and money to somebody that just doesn't know how to wield it, aka the U.S. government, and
great
they
question,
do
Dan.
ass backwards.
I'm glad we looked this up because what in Lord Christ?
Right? It's sometimes the small things that matter that might go right over your head, like, oh, socially disadvantaged. Like, yeah, that sounds great. Okay, what does it mean?
Well,
like, words
I'm still
are
on board with
important.
this.
I mean, right? Yeah,
I'm
it just
still
needs
on
more
board with
money.
this,
It needs more money than that, obviously.
Yeah. I'm still on board with this, bro. Like that should 100% have way more money.
I mean, I think maybe it's a better code term, socially disadvantaged, maybe than saying people of color and veteran. Like, but I mean, they already do
just
it.
said
They already say that everywhere else. Yeah.
They just said commerce, minority,
Well-
business development budget. Why don't they just say minority and veteran farmers? God bless.
Well, I mean,
then
maybe because
So the takeaway is screw farmers, dog. That's why they're not doing this, right? Because like, oh, something, Bill Gates. Oh, something like, big corpo Monsanto crush everybody
Yeah.
and poison us all. Like, man, that's wild.
that's really what it's been. It's just small time farmers. That's really, for the most part, what that would be.
Right. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
If they put more money into that, like, we wouldn't even need big ag. Like, it would be so beautiful. Like, every community realize if you have just like a couple people and they got paid better than, because if you ask farmers, they don't get paid, dick shit for the most part, especially because the government is who buys a lot of their crops. Majority, like high majority. The government pays you what they say they're going to pay you for. They say what the price is on it. They can't be part of their community, make products, bring it direct to their community. So first, that would be healthier because they're grown in the community, kind of like bees. You get much better benefits of honey that came from your local area.
I hear Manuka honey is very good for you.
So if you had crops grown in your local area, it's going to benefit you better if you had them from your local area.
Helps you get rid of allergies.
Yeah. And
Because then
so-
you get the something pollen from the thingies in your area.
And then all of a sudden, if you know where your food's coming from and they're part of your, like, who the farmer is. Oh, guess what? Community bonding.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So
good vibes.
So
What?
again, another way they've been trying to divide us, possibly.
And the libtards would know that milk doesn't come from the store.
Well, if you ask that one guy, strawberry milk comes from strawberry cows or strawberries, whatever it was. Hey, also, if y'all didn't know, there's people out there that believe, hopefully you're not one of them watching the show, but if you are, that's great because you're here to get some awareness. They think you can get ground beef without killing the cow. You can just shave some off of the cow and let them keep living, and then when it regrows, you shave more meat off.
Maybe they were watching too much cannibal movies, bro.
That's not how it works.
They
First
were
off,
watching too many
y'all,
cannibal movies.
the main point of those people that bring that up, reason being, don't kill the animal, don't harm the animal. You're giving it way more harm that way. Wait, yeah, dude. Literally bonkers that people think this. But I couldn't even believe it until I heard. I was just like, I had to walk away. Just like, what? Okay, yes.
Yeah, no,
Education is important. Education is very important.
But
Stay
I'll
in-
have to
stay
come
in
back
school,
and
kids.
educate you later.
Stay in school,
'Cause right
kids, and
now my head-
apparently we
my
need
head
more agriculture classes in school, even if they're city schools, because it's breeding a bunch of. I'm not gonna say it.
So this was even before Daddy Trump got inaugurated. So hopefully we can get more things like this, man. But new Georgia project, and it's Action Fund, founded by Stacey Abrams and also once led by deep state shill Raphael Warnock. Both of these people are absolute horrible deep state shills that are ruining the country. They were fined a record $300,000 for failing to disclose $4.2 million in donations. So that $3.2 million in spending during the 2018 elections to boost to boost Stacey Abrams' campaign. So they got caught absolutely, probably, maybe misappropriating funds because they just didn't disclose this $4.2 million in donations. Why would you do that?
I don't think that's a big enough fine. That's just like
That's what-
that's
that's
just
what my
like that's
thing-
just
yeah.
like these vaccine
Right,
companies
right.
that
That's what that
are like,
post
oh,
was.
if the fine's only 1 million, we made $1 billion. Of course, we're gonna still do it.
Right.
Like we still made a mad profit.
Yep. You hit the nail on the head, bro, because I was like, I do feel there's an increase in dirty Democrats being caught doing nefarious activities with small penalties.
Because guess what? That's just again entitlement and abuse of your power.
Yeah.
All these small time criminals, because you're a big time criminal if you do that. Because guess what? That guy that might have made $100,000 off peddling some drugs is gonna basically lose way more than that much money in time spent in prison, and all what he has to pay back in reparations is gonna be a bigger fine than that. Yet he lost way more, and he did on a money scale, way lesser crime.
Wait, who? I'm sorry.
I just tried bringing an example, like just some drug dealer, I guess.
Oh, sure.
You know, I mean, yeah, there's some other things to bring in, too. Like, if the drugs are dirty and they kill people, it's bad.
Yeah,
like you should,
Well, all
But
drugs are
what I'm
bad,
saying
okay.
is, these people paid a fine. They're not in jail. They're still living their life. They are able to live comfortably and get by. These people lose an entire section of their life,
robbing money,
and they might not even be able to make it in life after that because now they have a felony on their record.
Robbing
They
money
might
is still robbing money, bro.
like God, the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Liberal hive mind.
It should be like a percentage. It should be like if you get caught doing something bad, felony, you just lose 75% of your money. No matter
Like-
who you are, rich, poor, smart, dumb, you do crime thingy, we just take 75% of your money. Do that again.
It's probably a good start. There might be some holes, but
I'm just throwing out.
it's a good place to start to possibly rewriting that bullcrap.
Yeah. You 75% of it.
First
'cause
off,
it's not profitable.
You know what? I would like to know which judge made that bid against them, because I would be willing to bet
Probably
they're
Trump
getting
appointed.
paid by the same people that
Oh,
they
no,
work
no.
with. I'm talking.
I think that was good because usually they wouldn't even get called out or like tried guilty.
No, I think there was the people we're talking about. So like they had to do something because they can't just turn a blind eye, because then the people would really lose it. So the judge,
But that was a record amount.
So the judge is like, yo, hey man, like they kind of got me by the balls. Like I have to do something.
And it's a good question, but it was a record amount, so
I
that's a
mean,
good start.
Yeah, right.
Did you see that POS Mr. Joe Biden was trying to take credit for the hostages being released? Yeah, they got
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I've been working on the plan for over a year. What?
Well,
no.
Wow. Okay, now you're putting yourself right into Kamala's territory. From day one, if I get elected, we're gonna bring groceries to affordability and gas prices down. Okay, you've been in office for 4 years. Where was that so far? Yeah, like.
And I got one of your favorites. You know, the Mr. Benny Johnson here,
Oh,
good friend of the show.
gonna be-
Following him on
already
YouTube.
know it's gonna be a fire intro.
Follow him on YouTube. So Dan loves the intros. I think we all do. So we got the intro.
His
here for
content's
this one.
equally as good, but I might be a little bit biased. I love the intro.
You're welcome, I guess. Because I'm your nuclear deterrent. It's working. We're safe. America is secure. You want my property? You can't have it. But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Successfully privatized world peace.
Hey, from Iron Man.
Good Tony
That
Hawk
was
quote, yeah.
good.
And then Joe Biden tries to take credit for it, dude. Pretty ridiculous. But it's speculative that they did it because of Daddy Trump. He claims that he worked the deal. I think I was talking to my dad, and he was like, well, they probably just did it because they're terrified of Trump maybe doing something. I'm like,
I think that's
exactly.
why a whole bunch of stuff has been happening. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're watching all these people flip-flop and basically go like, please don't decimate me and put me in prison, please.
And then the celebrities flip-flop because they don't want to be decimated by the drop-off of clientele, us users, like Snoop Dogg.
Fans.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, because all celebrity is a fan base.
Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, and Soulja Boy performed at Donald Trump's like crypto ball party on Friday.
Oh, a crypto ball party.
Like, and Snoop Dogg
I
had
wish
that
I was
video that like he did the, like simulate a shoot Donald Trump doll, like,
yeah.
I don't know where Rick Ross was, but he came out Trumper because he.
I mean, like
performed.
Enemy's an enemy, but we all not to make it religious, but we want to try to convert our enemies onto our side instead of just like knock them off the planet out of existence.
What's really annoying about the Snoop Dogg though is the clip that was all going around was him literally when Donald Trump got elected the first time, I think it was, put out a video that was like, who's gonna be the first one that performs for Trump? Oh yeah, man, you gonna be an Uncle Tom ass, blah 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 do. And I was like, bruh, that's rude. And then fast forward 8 years, bro, this mother he performing for Daddy Trump.
Look at that. How the turns have tabled.
And so all his haters are like, oh, look at you. Or no, he literally said it in the video. He was like, oh, you guys, Uncle Tom. You go, yes, Mr. Trump, I'm going to dance for you, Mr. Trump. Blah, blah. He made some like, yes, massa type bullshit, bro. Talking ish, man. And then fast forward 8 years, he's like, yeah, Daddy Trump, what do you want? And then he did, I'm going to burst like a bubble. And he did the whole DJ thing up on the front, man.
I mean, hey, Snoop, I know you're watching this because you're like one of our biggest fans. And
good friend of the show.
Just yeah, good friend of the show, aka. Proud you, or at least acting like you in the good side. It's probably the money, but it's better than nothing.
Was this Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Hold on. That's a Miss Green.
We got a Miss Green here snapping off.
The main thing is keyword miss, not miss.
Elon Musk used to be a Democrat. And I think the problem here is you guys are really jealous. And let's be brutally honest. It's your policies that have run off Democrats. You have run off your own donors. And you ran off the voters in this last election because of the absolute failures that you did to this country. So let's be really clear in what you're trying to do. You're attacking Elon Musk because you're really jealous. You are. You're just really jealous. And Elon Musk, I want to remind you guys, while California is on fire, he is directing his resources there with Tesla trucks and Starlinks to help people and victims that are being impacted right now by the failures of the Democrat leaders in California. No, it's not climate change that is burning down California. It is a failure of how to handle and prevent these types of problems. No water in the fire hydrants. No.
Yeah, very true.
That is such an ignorant statement for anybody that really believes climate change is like, oh, climate change has been getting hotter, so they've been having a drought, so they got more like dry wood. Every other forest in the United States, when it gets in the dry season, guess what? We pay workers to go remove the dry debris because we understand, because it's a very simple thing that dry wood burns, wet wood doesn't. So Trump tried, I don't know if it's Trump. They were supposed to have, or they used to have, where they would pick up the dead debris.
Rake.
And but because of climate change and ecosystem concerns. Removing that from the area would destroy the ecosystem. Blah, 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 blah. It's probably going to hurt a newt. And so we can't do it anymore. And now look, your whole town is burnt up. Like,
what's the full capitalized word in this sentence, Dan?
Only you can prevent forest fire. You.
I don't know why everything started on fire. Dude, Smokey the Bear's been telling this for years, and then we stopped seeing Smokey the Bear on television, and look what happened.
And it sounds,
Bring Smokey the Bear back.
and it sounds like a couple of the arsonists probably misheard it, and they heard, only I can start fire. Okay, great, yeah.
I didn't even know this was a Smokey the Bear quote. He said, care will prevent 9 out of 10 forest fires, bro. God bless. We've had the answers.
I wish I was wearing my Smokey the Bear shirt.
Golly, we've had the answers, bro. Don't let forest fires be your fault, Gavin Newscomb. What's the rest? Make sure your fire is dead out. Yeah, good call. Good call.
Yep.
But we've had the answer 4 years. I don't understand. Apparently, Gavin Newscomb stopped listening to Smokey the Bear.
He sure did.
Be very clear about Democrat policies, Democrat decisions that have run off so many people. And let's talk about what you're trying to do is just attack someone that used to actually support your party and supports your party no more. But let's really talk about this amendment. And
I just like showing this, folks, because like a lot of people don't like or don't like super watch politics or something. And you got to know that there are a lot of cool people right now that are starting to show up in our official positions. And they try to call this lady, oh, she's the crazy, conspiracy lady, now blah, blah, blah.
Just like
maybe she is, bro, but that voice should be in there too. And she's pushing back. So that's why they're trying to say a bunch of character assassination stuff
And
on her.
I noticed a trend that's been happening. Because you know who they also said a lot of that stuff about? Pam Bondi. And, wow, y'all are really attacking the blondes, and I don't appreciate it.
It's almost like they're blondest.
Yeah, they think they don't know what they're talking about just because they're blonde.
Yeah, right on schedule. Smart LA plan is going to be initiated, bro. They're talking about martial law plan.
Oh, did you? He literally, I think it's from that interview that they took the snippet of him from. He literally admitted they started the fires.
No.
Like he literally said, I forgot. Oh, I should have tagged the clip.
Should have showed it to the locals.mastash.com.
Yeah. But no, him and one of the other people that works for the city literally said just like Kamala accidentally said was supposed to be the quiet part out loud. The guy was like, yeah, we've been planning this like for a while pretty much. And then Newscomb was talking about, he didn't say like we started fire, but he said how he said it. It was like, how else can you interpret it? Like, yeah, it was in that interview.
Needing to take place. Is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
My humble position, and it's not just being naively optimistic, that only reinforces the imperative moving quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. President of the United States, Donald Trump, to his credit, was helpful in getting the Olympics to the United States of America, to get it down here in LA. We thank him for that. This is an opportunity for him to shine, for this country to shine, for California and this community to shine. The opportunity with all of that and all that opportunity and that pride and spirit that comes from not just hosting those 3 iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team of looking and reimagining LA 2.0, and we're making sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan? Tell us about this Marshall Plan.
We're just starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires. So we're already talking to city leaders. We're already talking to civic leaders. We're already talking to business leaders. and nonprofits. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals on philanthropy for recovery, how we can organize the region, how we can make sure that we are seeking federal assistance for the Olympics more broadly, but also federal assistance for the recovery efforts, and how we can galvanize the community with folks that love this community to really develop a mindset so that at scale, we're dealing with the scope of this tragedy and responding to it at scale with efficiency like the executive order I talked about, time value of delivering projects, addressing building codes, addressing permitting issues, and moving forward to rebuilding and being more resilient.
Of course, they already have the.
It wasn't in that segment of it. It was probably an earlier bit. I'm gonna have to try to find it, tag it in the show. There's another guy, and almost the dude looked pretty similar to the guy asking the questions there. Yeah, he did the same thing. Maybe I'm remembering him as Newscomb, but I'm pretty sure Newscomb said it too. It was like, you basically just said you planned to start the fire, dude. Like, really? Big oopsies.
Yep. And then in other news, we're hearing that Mr. Vivek is going to drop out of Doge, and he is most likely to announce somewhat soonly that he is going to run for governor of Ohio.
Yep.
Oh, he has more to say soon about his future plans in Ohio, is how he said it. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that he's stepping out of Doge. I was really, really into him having a voice directly in the whole government efficiency program thing. I'm very bummed to hear that. I feel a little bit bait and switched.
Yeah, that's pretty much
like
how
Elon,
a lot
but
of
I don't
people are.
like Elon unchecked. So I thought the pair of them was going to be pretty cool.
Right, yeah.
I guess
yep.
Trump's still the stop check gap something, but like, I'm bummed about that. I'm very bummed that he's out.
Yeah, I felt
Before
like
even
he
got
was going.
started, bro.
Yeah, I feel like he was going to be the hammer in the Doge.
What a flip flopper. I'm disappointed in you today, Vivek. God bless. Man, you really got to be like following this guy. Again, we are not a medical channel, so we do not give out any medical advice whatsoever. But you should go check out the William Mackis MD. I believe MD means you're a doctor.
Yeah.
So this guy is still posting these kind of like testimonials over here, bro, about ivermectin and fenbendazole helping people out with cancer, bro. So this one's a 60-year-old Florida stage 4 clear cell renal cell carcinoma patient with multiple reoccurrences, now cancer-free after 3 months. That's absolutely bonkers, bro. Y'all better go check this guy out, do your own research, talk to your physician, talk to your medical professional. But there's a lot of claims going around the old internet about, ivermectin and fenbendazole as a very valid treatment for people with cancer, bro. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how cheap it is too. Main problem. Main problem why they don't want it.
Yeah, so go check him out, folks. William Mackis, MD, on the X. If you are in the locals.massdash.com, you'd get these kind of updates so you can check these things out on your own. All the show notes and all these posts we cover are just hanging out right there in the locals.massdash.com. So go and pull those up. Former Hillary Clinton staffer turned FBI spy hunter got by the James O'Keefe.
Another
said that they're plotting with retired generals to protect Americans from Trump. So it sounds like a planned insurrection kind of thing.
Yeah. What do we need protection against Trump from?
Yeah. Just me, or is the Biden admin getting a lot of things we, the people, wanted done last minute to steal the clout from Trump? They banned that red number 3.
Could have done it months ago, years ago.
Yep.
It's not like the UK had that ban years ago.
Yeah.
Not new info.
Very interesting, man. Okay, cool. Here's the quick highlights from the Pete Hegseth hearing from our good friend, Mr. Benny Johnson.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. If you missed the 5 hour 50, I think. Yeah, Maisie Hirono.
Did you see this?
Elizabeth Warren had the entire room laughing in her face.
Quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one.
Shut up, lady.
At her own, like,
The absolute
She's like,
energy of the Senate.
Son of a bitch, I got.
She was trying to get him in a gotcha and got gotcha, bro. That was
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh, this one was the best one, but I don't know if he had the clip. Oh, this one's pretty good.
Yeah, they've been dropping like flies.
To be Secretary of Defense and all of your weddings to be faithful to your wife. Is that correct? I have failed in things in my life, and thankfully I'm redeemed by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. In final,
What a monster.
Yeah, he said that.
So Tim Kaine's talking about the...
So, I mean, like, the dude's had, like, 2 ex-wives and a current wife. Maybe he cheated on one wife while they were, like, still married. But, like, I mean, we're talking about, like,
Oh, guess what?
putting them
He's
in,
not
like-
the first.
Well,
Like,
so then
we
this
don't we
guy-
don't necessarily like it, but guess what? A bunch of people are probably pointing the finger again. The pot calling the kettle black.
And they're also trying to get him on being an alcoholic, right? And then this man stood up for him, bro, and crushes it.
Here we go.
You know, there's a lot of talk going about talking about qualifications and then about us hiring him if we are the board. But there's a lot of senators here I wouldn't have on my board because there is no qualifications except your age, and you got to be living in the state and you're a citizen of the United States to be a senator. Other than the fact we got to convince a lot of people to vote for us. And then when we start talking about qualifications for if you're qualified for it, could the chairman tell me what the qualifications are for the Secretary of Defense? Mr. Chairman, could you tell me what the qualifications are for the Secretary of Defense?
I'd be happy
I'll read it.
for you to do that. Yeah.
Let me read it for you because I Googled
I was getting some advice from
I
my
understand
second
that.
in command.
Yeah, but I'm just making a point because there's a lot about qualifications. And I think it's so hypocritical of senators, especially on the other side of the aisle, be talking about his qualifications, not being able to lead the secretary or be the Secretary of Defense, and yet your qualifications aren't any better. You guys aren't any more qualified to be the senator than I'm qualified to be the senator, except we're lucky enough to be here. But let me read you what the qualifications of the Secretary of Defense is, because I Googled it, and went through a lot of different sites, and really it's hard to see. But in general, the U.S. Secretary of Defense position is filled by a civilian. That's it. If you have served in the U.S. Army Forces and have been in the service for, you have to be retired for at least 7 years, and Congress can weigh that. And then there's questions that the senator from Massachusetts brought up about serving on a board inside the military industry, and yet your own secretary that you all voted for, Secretary of Austin, we had to vote on a waiver because he stepped off the board of Raytheon. But I guess that's okay because that's a Democrat Secretary of Defense. But we so quickly forget about that. And then Senator Kaine, or I guess I better use the senator from Virginia, starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No. But it's for show. You guys make sure you make a big show and point out the hypocrisy because the man's made a mistake. And you want to sit there and say that he's not qualified? Give me a joke. I mean, it is so ridiculous that you guys hold yourself as this higher standard and you forget you got a big plank in your eye. We've all made mistakes. I've made mistakes. And Jennifer, thank you for loving him through that mistake. Because the only reason why I'm here and not in prison is because my wife loved me too. I have changed, but I'm not perfect. But I found somebody that thought I was perfect. And for whatever reason, you love Pete, and I don't know why. But just like our Lord and Savior forgave me, my wife's had to forgive me more than once too, and I'm sure you've had to forgive him too. And so thank you.
Whoo, doggy. You can see why this went viral.
Bro, that guy had his back, dog.
Let's not forget. Okay, he might have been divorced. Yeah, how many of those guys that are saying that crap about Pete have used our dollars, which is in the millions, and just in the last year, to pay for cases to protect them against sexual assault cases that they performed.
And it was a huge thing they were trying to
Getting
bring up.
divorced is one thing.
Sexual assault on him, bro.
Cheating on your wife.
Yep. 100%.
Sexual assault is a lot bigger than that, and all those guys pointing the finger more than likely had those sexual assault cases on.
You hit the nail on the head. They were also asking him repeatedly, like, about these sexual assault allegations of people that had tried to come out right before his hearing type thing. So they were even trying to say it explicitly, bro. Yeah. The only good argument that I heard about the wife thing was the one guy, he was like, well, I bet you told all those women that you were going to vow to them and blah, blah, blah. So, like, how can we trust you? And I was like, okay, that's a good argument. But,
I mean,
come on.
Who hasn't, like, either unwillingly or willingly broke their promise or something?
But
whoop-de freaking-do.
Right.
Oh, hey,
like, I'm sure
hey,
they all have.
here's one. I can tell you one right now. That one guy named Joe that, did an oath on the Bible in front of all of us millions of Americans. What happened there? Did he not do what he said he was going to do?
He did not cure cancer like he said he was going to do.
The hypocrisy is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, so that was really good.
The only one that can save us.
Oh, we got one from Mr. Dinosaur himself over here.
What was that? The end of last week, or was that?
Well, 7 days ago was the 13th, and this is the 14th, so I think it was after.
Must have been like the morning after. Nice.
14 is after 13. So the kids don't have to worry about just candy from the van, but also the soda truck now.
Can't even remember what this was. Oh, yes. This was local, too.
Looking crazy and crazy. They just found a Coca-Cola truck full of kids in Cicero, Illinois.
Cicero.
This shit wild, man.
Bro, they just found a truck full of kids in that motherfucking Coca-Cola motherfucking truck. We all, hey, they got you now. This shit crazy. I'm telling a million kids in that motherfucker. Wow. I wonder how far they just traveled. This shit is crazy.
Y'all need to keep an eye out on y'all kids and know their whereabouts at all times. For real, for real. This world crazy as hell. This world getting...
Yeah.
He said that clip turned out to be false. Please watch the new video I posted for info on this.
That's
No,
not it.
That's not the video.
Pretty sure it's a good one, though. Yeah, yep.
I don't know how far back the video was. Interesting.
Maybe it got taken down.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it might be a little bit of quick baity, but definitely something to look out for.
Mr. Danosaurus showing us this one here. FBI purchases 5,000 licenses for BabbleX social media. I do feel like these were on the last episode.
I was going to say, I thought that one
for some reason.
On the last.
Isn't 7 days ago the 13th? Am I tripping?
7 days ago would be the 13th.
Yeah. Right? There's no way we covered these if they were posted the day after. But I thought we talked about this one.
Right, yeah.
Breakdown. Breakdown.
Holy
Did we
shit.
watch this one?
I
Just purchased 5,000 license for this program called Babel X. Babel X is like, I don't know if you guys remember, I talked about last October this program called Fog Data Reveal Service. It's basically the same thing. All your social media, your social security numbers, your personal records is in this database. You guys look it up. It's from Babel Street. It's called Babel X. And the FBI just bought 5,000 licenses to use this platform to gather information on random citizens whenever they want. And they can do it without a warrant. And imagine if Babel X, all the data in there was connected to this blockchain address, which is 100% identified to you because it's your literal DNA footprint. And so that's what I was thinking. In the future, all this gathering of DNA may be just a way to permanently identify you because they can sequence that into a blockchain. And then once we all are on this federal blockchain, our addresses are literally going to be our DNA sequence. The FBI just purchased 5,000.
So
That's like a absolutely.
So instead of them having to legally obtain their information, which would have been like warrants and whatnot before, and unless there was a case, that they could say you were doing to like be able to look into you. Now they just buy it.
Yeah.
They just buy the data. It's not illegal. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now they can know everything about you just because they used your money to pay for a thing to track you.
And you
Ain't that cool?
signed up for the TOS and said, yeah, here, take all my stuff, please.
Yeah, terms of service crap. Ah,
So China and the United States government have all my DNA information. Sweet. Excellent. Well, I was a dumb kid, so they got my fingerprints.
yeah, I think I'm sure they got my fingerprints some way or another somehow.
Have you been arrested?
I have been arrested.
Then they have
That's
your
what I
fingerprints.
what I couldn't remember. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was a little blurry.
Blake that
It was a little
out there.
blurry going in there. I try to bleach that out of the memory.
Well, that's all I got for you today, folks.
Yep, same as well. We gonna turn into pumpkins. This was a long one.
It's only 2. Oh, it's coming up on 3. That's like a good long here.
Yeah, I was hoping to originally do a little short, but it was a good show. There's a lot of stuff to get into because the college national championship football game was tonight. I was really hoping to watch
You
it.
didn't old guy DVR it?
I don't have cable, first off.
You can't get that on a replay somewhere?
I mean, when I watch the game, I go watch the game with my friends at
bet.
somewhere drinking beverages. That's the way to do it.
I feel
yeah.
Well, that's all I got for you, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure to join us in that locals.massdash.com. If you're typing it in, that's 3 S's in a row, but there's 4 in the whole word. Or you can click on that link in the description box down below. Don't miss the signup.toleratetech.com link down there either, because I would love to help you out and be your new tech guy. I'll help protect the computer. I'll help you tech supported and answer all those crazy questions, save you time, frustrations, and monies. And, we can, chew the fat about current events while I fix up your computer. It's pretty great. If you're in the local area, come see me at Revival Tech, and I would love to help you out with your tech stuff. Make sure to not be a hoe.
Share the show, host.
And, come on back. Share the show out to a friend, a family member, or even a foe. Trolley didn't show up today, so maybe we need to get a new troll.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure with it being Trump inauguration day, he couldn't hold himself together reading the chat, so he was just like, I just can't even watch it. I can't spell it. I just hate him so bad. I can't even think about it. I'm just no.
He's like, man, they're going to be able to shit on me hard because he got inaugurated today and nobody tried to assassinate him, so I don't have
That's
any...
a good point. I'm pretty sure I'll have to pull up the receipts because I bet I got him when he was saying, you guys are going to be crying when Kamala gets inaugurated in. Well.
It looks like the tears on you.
Seems like the TrutherCast projects at least a little bit of truth.
So share that show out, folks, to like one person. Will be able to double the viewership next time.
Small moves make big things move.
Yeah, if you found us on
Little
YouTube,
step.
make sure to subscribe. Otherwise, come on over to the home platform on Rumble where they don't censor us. So YouTube, if you want those sweet, sweet viewer numbers, make sure to not take this video down either.
Yep. Other than that, because if you do, every week it's going to be, let's get ready to rumble.
And with that, folks, I think we got a 2, we got a 1, and we got a all right.
All right, all right, all right.
Uh.